Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Kocosports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. That's right, it's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. First of all, you got yours truly, the sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom, here shaking the room live from beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. And of course, joining me is my brother from another mother, the CEO, the king, the chairman of the board, talking about Dave Kokotis. And of course, not to be outdone, joining us also from sunny South Florida, we're talking about the man with some sweet hair. We're talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Rob Sackett. What's up? What's up, gentlemen?
You could have lied. You could have said I was Roman Reigns, and then people would have taken a bit to figure it out. Like
Roman Reigns, it's really you. You sound different, here as you do on television.
I'm not putting on all the airs. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm just, doing my internet podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Well, guys, this show is called Stump the Idiot, and it's pretty much brought to you by, you, the Internet Infantry. This is a time where we kind of take a step back and we let you guys take control of the show. You asked all the questions, and we're just going to give take two, and we're going to give all the answers we can to the best of our ability. So it's kind of a laid-back, relaxed night. So kick your feet up, pop you open a cold one, maybe pop some popcorn, just sit back, relax. We're going to have some fun here. So get your questions in. We're going to read them, and we'll put some new ones down here in the comment section. So be sure to get them to us ASAP. Well, Mr. Kokotis, who is first up?
Well, the first up is, we got this a bunch of times, so we're going to go with all of the Internet Infantry. Every single person of the Internet asked this question, so we can go across the board. And it seems to be a hot topic. It's one of our main questions up in the title. How would you fix the WWE Network? It seems like, according to the Internet, the WWE Network is broken in their eyes. Booms, since you're the only one that has a real job, you can go first. How would you fix the WWE Network?
How would I fix the WWE Network? I think they are making some good strides on it as far as streaming quality and price. Now they've got an option. Of course, you can pay $9.99 a month with a 6-month commitment. However, they're also offering an option. At least I don't know if it's worldwide yet, but I know with the U.S. it's $12.99 per month. But if you pay that, you can cancel at any time. So, is it really worth the $3 extra per month to be able to cancel it? I mean, I think it's one of those, if you're going to keep it, it's worth it, which is the idea. It's worth it just to get the 6-month commitment. As far as material, let's see. I would make it a goal to put every episode of Nitro, every episode of Thunder on there. I would try to get as much content on there as possible. I know they're talking about getting the World Wrestling Council, so they got some Spanish language stuff. Try to get more of that stuff. I would do something where you do like an all-access thing where, every night, for every particular night of the week, you feature one superstar on the roster. Just kind of a little bio about them, get to know them a little bit more. I would also, what else? Put more original content. I like Legends House. I know Dave wasn't a huge fan of it, but I really did like it. I hope they do a second season. In fact, we could almost do a Stump the Idiot off who would you like to see on the second season of Legends House. Keep Total Divas on there. Try to crank out some more original content, like I said. Put as much material on there as possible in regards to these promotions that they've bought they bought the tape libraries from. Try to get as much of those on there.
So
start offering maybe. Yeah, go ahead.
You were saying more content overall, because I think they should also hit up house shows and content they also have. So just more content is what you're going with.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the fight night feel, and maybe do some leading up to a pay-per-view. Like I said, like one night a week you feature, one particular superstar on your roster, no matter, who it is, just to kind of get to know them. I'm not talking long, maybe 20, 30-minute, program. I mean, you could slap one of those together in about a week. And then also, you could leading up to a pay-per-view, you could do like a hype where every night leading up to a pay-per-view, you highlight one particular feud, what started it, what they going through, kind of like how the UFC does, show them training,
Mm-hmm.
have them talking about the fight, try to, jazz it up a little bit more, get like a fight night feel.
All right, Rob, how would you fix the network? And do you think the network even needs fixing?
I definitely think it needs improving. One of the biggest things I think they did that was a huge mistake was when they renegotiated their contracts with television networks. It was right after the network had gone up, and I don't know who's in charge there that they didn't do this or fight tooth and nail for it. They should have guaranteed that they could put Raw and SmackDown up on the network after it had aired. Like there's no question those should be going up on the network after they air. So that way if you have the network, you have access to all of WWE's current content, which is what everyone thought it would be. Other than that, they've been doing really good shifts with like making main event actually matter, having it announced. Admittedly stupid shit, but they're at least trying to make it better. And I like Boom Boom's idea of like doing interviews and shit like that, because one of the most popular features they have right now is the Triple H interviews. People love the Triple H interviews, largely because, well, half the world is a mark for Triple H, but if they did more stuff like that, like more interviews with more superstars to flesh out their daily content production on the network, that would do so much. Because then it gives you a reason to want the network, because you want to see new stuff that you haven't seen.
Yeah, it's like the Triple H thing actually adds value to it, where like you're like, oh, he's moving storylines along. Oh, he's showing a bit of a character. Oh, he's what I call shoot fame. He's like kayfabe shooting on people. You know what I'm saying? So the Triple H thing, I agree. There should be a lot more interviews like that because, like, you like the YouTube thing where the Raw at the end of this Raw they go and interview people. I actually did like it, but I have too much time because like if they were all as good as Triple H or all as good as Slater Gator, I'd watch them all. But like what broke me on the YouTube like behind the scenes stuff was the Stephanie McMahon one. It was like 10 minutes of graphics, or Renee Young or Renee Young wannabe walked up to her and said, "Oh my God, you were throwing the mud. What do you think about that?" And she just walked by and said no comment. And then they showed another ad. I was like, dude, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I got shit to do. It's a lot of people make fun of us because we're like, oh, your shows are 20 minutes long, but at least we're fucking not lying. We're like three fat asses talking wrestling. We don't have 97 graphics, a graphic over here, a graphic over here, a graphic over here, and then you say, wow, I thought Raw was awesome, and then we have more graphics. I just thought that's what broke me. The Triple H segments I really do enjoy. They just can't have that shitty.
All right. Well, it seems like we got a lot of good ideas there. Hopefully WWE will take it into consideration. Dave, what's another question we got here?
All right, well, I just think, as far as WWE, they don't see it as broken. I think, I said this a long time ago. I said September will be a make or break for WWE if wrestling will ever be good. They just got into Canada. Blame Canada! Blame Canada! Canadians, you're paying for something you can get online for free. You're paying more than America and getting less of it. Yet you're still buying it, and it's only to 20% of the country. I think, and this is going to sound over-the-top dramatic, but that's fucking my personality, if they reach their goal in September, like I saw the graphic, and they go every 3 months, and it's climbing up slowly. If they reach their goal, and it's a very positive memory on September, good wrestling is dead. You might as well fucking just move to Japan, because you will never see good wrestling again. And it's because Canada. They're like, yeah, you're going to charge us more for an inferior product? Blame Canada! They are going to reach their goals, and we'll never see good wrestling again. That's on you, Canada. That's on you, whoever's paying $9.99 in America. Once they reach their goals, forget it. You might as well watch the last 2 weeks of Raw, because that's the future of pro wrestling. As far as Legend House goes, it was a horrible show. I just have to, dude, it was fucking
Well, I liked Legends House.
I would rather. I volunteer sometimes at a nursing home. I'd rather volunteer at a nursing home than watch that.
Yeah, well, you also don't like Total Divas, so I think that's two
Oh,
marks
no,
in the
that's not,
category of Dave has bad taste.
that's not fair. I refuse to watch Total Divas. I might actually watch it and love it. Like, I love these green eggs and ham. So for Total Divas, I just refuse to watch it. That's not liking it. That's just saying no, not on my watch, not on my watch. So there you go. All right, here we go. This is the one. I'll drive the bus for a little bit, but we got this question. And I find this to be weird. This new generation will ask you, here's a question we get often. Are you a positive show or a negative show? And I'm just like, no, we're three fat asses who talk wrestling. If we're in a grumpy mood, we're probably negative. If the show was bad, it would be negative. If the show was good, we were positive. I think when it comes to broadcasting on every level, there are too many people that just act positive, just for the views. Let me tell you something. If you watch a show because it's nothing but positivity, just go to WWE.com. I have no idea why you even bother going to a third option. It blows my fucking mind. Let me turn it on. WWE is awesome! Like, I don't understand. Like, what's the point? Why even have a voice? And as far as negative goes, I'm more negative than Booms. And Rob is more positive than both of us combined. So I think we got a 3-level thing. I'm Mr. Negativity. Got Rob, who's positivity, and then Booms is like, oh, fuck, I'll just be the middleman and decide this shit. But overall, I don't think we're a positive or negative show. We just talk how we feel. And I think, especially YouTube and in main media, you decide. You're like, I'm going to be a negative show and tear everything down. I'm going to be a positive show and be positive. And it's just sad. It's just sad. But if you're like, well, this show's too negative and not negative enough, there's way more negative. And if you're like, this show isn't positive enough, why? Why even read WWE.com? Like, I watch some of these positive shows and like, these are really bad WWE broadcasts. So here we go. We got Isaiah Jones. Here's the two opposites here. Isaiah Jones, you're filled with hate and negativity. Well, you're a fucking coward pussy. There you go.
I mean, you are really negative. Like, compared to you, I am like the most positive person in the fucking world with wrestling.
Yeah, I'm negative. Like, but my whole thing is, I have this theory that this generation is positive no matter what. The young generation is positive no matter what. People pay lots of money for this secret and being positive. Here's the thing. I think being positive is great for you. For you. I think it's actually being selfish. I think it's great for you. But being negative is bad on your heart. Being negative is bad on you personally, mentally. But for the rest of the world, you need negative people. If you are all positive, it's such a greedy fucking thing. Think about it. Throughout history, the greatest things have been done by the most negative people. The fucking most...
Hitler.
Well, yeah, but the thing is...
You just said yeah to it. You didn't even think about that.
No. I hear you. Dude, there's negative people that use it, but still, he fucking got power. But also, let's look at some of the good ones. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. These people were negative. Rosa Parks. Think about it. If you don't sit there and complain, nothing will fucking change. I honestly think this generation's too positive. Like, everyone's like, oh, Occupy Wall Street. Oh, we're going to make change through Facebook. You ain't doing shit. You're not doing shit. Negative people get shit done. Positive people, it's good for just you. It's good for just you. And here's the worst part, is that I think, when it comes to being negative and positive, I think that when history is done, I'm a big historian, and I believe this, I think the baby boomers are the worst generation ever. I think our generation, the hosts, who are a lot older than most of our viewers, are just going to be the laziest generation. I think people will be like, wow, the baby boomers, worst generation of all time, their kids, the laziest. And here's the problem. All the pressure, if the economy is ever going to rebound, if the world is ever going to rebound, and this ain't just America, it's up to today's high school kids. It's up to They're kids. And all we're teaching them is be a star, be positive, and nothing is going to change. We're fucking angry, but you're positive and you're getting it way worse than us. You know, and I think a lot of it is too is like you feel like it's an attack on pro wrestling, or you think it's an attack on your generation. No, you should fucking be angry. You know why we had the Attitude Era? Because at the time we were all fucking angry and demanded it. You know why Daniel Bryan happened? Because we were angry and demanded it. Now, oh, it's positive. Everyone, let's be happy. Woo-hoo! And TNA has this problem too. TNA, you could have been good fucking 20 years ago, but you had a fucking 1.0 positive fucks that said everything was great. And if you were just a little bit negative, you could have fucking changed the system. That's it. And here, as far as you, boom, 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 sit down. Rob, sit down. I'm going to give you a Lee Corso, not so fast, my fellow friend.
All
I
right.
actually got being a positive Petey here from Byron. Huge loss. And how can you shill for this boring WWE Junior product? Your highlight, Kim and Terrell stealing the show. Sad to say, it was the match of the night, considering the rest was filler. But then they kill it by trotting out this unknown Havoc cardboard character monster to squash both of them like the jobbers. Bromance made me want to turn the TV off. Bray Wyatt, the repackaged James Storm is laughable. Rhino Spud was eye-rolling. The main event was okay, but the non-clean finish was utterly predictable, even if you didn't read the spoilers a week ago. Sorry, buddy, but WWE being boring does not make TNA crap anymore. I was accused of being too positive. There you go. Game over. You just can't fucking win as far as positive and negative goes. Booms, you're down the middle.
But, Your Honor, I would like to administer the last two comments here into evidence in this trial here of my client, Mr. Kocosports. Now, I may just be a simple country lawyer here, not from this big city, but I do believe those two statements contradict each other there, Your Honor. And I dare hereby move that these erroneous charges against my client be thrown out.
Thanks, Booms. I appreciate it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Rob,
You
you're
have
just
to take a
positive.
moment to respect that. Well, I think it's more the positivity. I think is directly tied towards your tolerance for bad or poorly conceived or just mediocre bits on the show. Like I took a long break, so for me, I'm like, oh, whatever. John Cena's getting a little annoying, but you know, I could tolerate this. This part was cool. I liked Mizdow. So I look at the parts that I like, and I can tune out the parts I don't because they haven't been bothering me as long. Whereas with you guys, it's like, all right, I am getting really fucking sick of that shit. Stop that shit, Vince.
So there you go. All right, so bam. Let's answer some questions here from Twitter. We'll answer 3 more predetermined questions and then go to our live questions. So please keep the live questions coming. You don't want to ignore the live audience because we love the live audience. All right, this is from Twitter. The only person that used hashtag Stump the Idiot. Let's give him a round of applause. Wrestling Ranted. We asked people to use hashtag Stump the Idiot. We're like, yeah, we're going to be as popular as other YouTubers. We're going to trend. If you beg one person to use hashtag Stump the Idiot, does that mean you're trending? Maybe we're trending.
No, let's just do it like WWE and Michael Cole does it. Stump the Idiot was trending #1 worldwide, everyone, right now.
A little graphic. All right, so the only guy who used Stump the Idiot was Wrestling Renton, another YouTuber. We basically had to beg him. We appreciate it. Now, this is going to be tough because we're 3 white guys, and white people are scared of tough questions like this. Do you think The Rock is considered a black wrestler? Dun, dun, dun. Should I go first?
No, I can
You want
take
to go first?
this one.
Because Boots is a white guy from the South.
Yeah, I know. What could possibly go wrong? You got the Southern guy commenting on race. Yeah, this is going to be great.
Use the other voice again.
yeah, you whatever the fuck you say. All right. Let me go. You want to go first?
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
It's a challenge.
Dave, you're chopping.
That guy from the South. Go ahead. Do you think The Rock is considered a black wrestler?
Well, I mean, what does he consider himself? I mean, yeah, ethnically he is biracial. He's half Samoan, half African American. So, I mean, that's really up to The Rock to determine. It's not for three fucking fat ass white guys to go. Well, if you look up at his in his genetic makeup. Now, his father was African American. Yes, Rocky Johnson, and his mother was Samoan descent. So, according to my, who gives a shit? That's my calculation. So, I made this. I think they're asking this question because it's something I came up with. I had asked, when we were talking about WWE, we were talking about, is WWE a racist company? And I had said something to the effect of, well, if you look at their history, they have never had an African American champion. They've never had not one black champion, not since the 60s when this whole thing started. Now, they've had, you could argue that Antonio Inoki had a championship run, so they've had an Asian. They had, of course, the Iron Sheik, so you've had someone of Middle Eastern descent. You've had, as far as WWE champion, you've also had Eddie Guerrero. People, and these are just people I'm naming off the top of my head, but and I said the closest they've ever come to an African American champion is The Rock, and there's some people who may not count that because he's biracial. Now that's not to say, but as far as do you consider The Rock black, whatever, I just consider The Rock, the fucking Rock. I mean, he's just the fucking Rock. I don't look at him as a black guy or Samoan guy. I just see him as the fucking Rock. Or Dwayne Johnson, Hollywood star. That's what I see him as.
All right, Rob, since you're related to The Rock.
I think the test is pretty easy. Has he held a WWE championship? Yes. He's not black.
All right, I'm going to go scared white guy answer as I don't want to answer that. Legit answer, I've been around the world. I know, there is something called white privilege. I know a lot of white people deny it, but there is. I go under, you be whatever the fuck you want to be. If The Rock says he's half black, half Samoan, then fucking A. If The Rock says he's purple, I'm under the impression as far as, when it comes to labeling a race or that, you should ask them what it is. Because I served with a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and he hated the term African American. He's like, I'm not fucking African American. I'm Caribbean. I'm black, but I'm Caribbean. Fucking racist. Fuck. And then you see these political correct people like, oh my god, I called him African American. So just ask. And if you ask The Rock, he'd say, I'm half black, half Samoan. But where this question does come in, if someone says, has there been a black champion before? I'd be like, The Rock. I think the question comes up because we and plenty of people on the YouTube have called WWE straight up racist, and they are. I mean, I don't think there's no fucking denying it unless you're a positive PD so much that you're fucking that much in denial. But yeah, no, they're fucking racist fucks, and The Rock to me isn't enough. And even if The Rock is a black champion, that's wrong. Even if you count Mark Henry having the title. That's just not enough.
It could also just be that the people who decide, who have final veto say on, hey, does this guy get to be a champion or not? It's very possible that those people are the racist ones. That the company as a whole doesn't have to be racist. I mean, they do hire black athletes and everything, but the people with the final say most likely are.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's any better. That's just been like, we're not all racist, just the guys in charge. I don't know if that's better or worse.
Just Vince said he doesn't want any black guys being the champion, and he wants to see John Cena without his shirt worn. We just go by that.
Well, here's a question for Google+. By the way, when I say for Google+, Google+ is dirty. Google+ is like the straight up, it's the bad part of town. You're just like, oh, you ever walk into a club and the music stops and everyone stares at you, and you're just like, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know that feeling? That's how I feel going to Google+. Well, Google Plus says, question is, and I kind of agree, it's more of a statement. If John Cena was black, he wouldn't have a job. And I kind of...
That's true because there's Darren Young.
Darren Young. Nah, I don't even know if he'd be Darren Young. But all right. And then one more from Twitter, and then we got a bunch from Google Plus, but let's go to YouTube after this. This is a short one. This is from @K1LLAK1N9. If Jerry Springer is going to be on Raw, we can only pray that the crowd shows up. I'm going to go to you guys because you guys still live in America and you're pop culture references. Jerry Springer is taking over for the gay football player who just got signed for the Cowboys. What is your thoughts, Jerry Springer being a guest host? Is he even still popular? Are people going to still cheer? Like, Jerry Springer means nothing to me. To me, I'm like, oh, that's the guy who used to be popular in the 80s. Okay, that might not be accurate. That's how it feels.
No, it's not accurate. I think the last time he might have been relevant was 97, 98.
Mm-hmm. Well, here, we'll keep it simple. Do you think anyone is going to give a shit?
No.
I think if it's for a Bella storyline, no.
Well, that's what it is. They're advertising for the Bellas.
How do you know? Maybe he's there to tell John Cena, you are not the champion.
Well, I mean, that's a possibility, but they already have a Bella segment.
Damn it.
He's like, I'm trying
John
to be
Cena,
positive.
you are not the champion.
All right, let's go through some live comments / this. We'll go super quick. Oh, Franielli. And we're going to get to the Tiger Mask story, Franielli. Yeah, that will be the last. That's what we'll wrap up. But we're going to wrap up with the Tiger Mask story for Franielli. Oh, I thought the Stump the Idiot was going to get easier. No. Guys, I know this is not wrestling related. That's okay. Stump the Idiot, we answer anything. But what are your thoughts on the ISIS situation in the Middle East? And you thought it was going to get easier.
I like calling it ISIS.
Yeah, it's ISIS. Come on, Dave. You're supposed to be the smartest one. You're supposed to be the one attuned to all the world events.
But me and ISIS are good pals. I could call him ISIS.
You're going to hell for that.
All right, should I go first since I'm the asshole who's the history teacher and gets paid to talk to this?
Go for it.
Yes,
Speak
please.
your mind on ISIS.
All right, here it is. ISIS, it's very George W. Bush type tactic right there, by the way, gentlemen. I'm going to give myself a Barry Horowitz. George Bush is so proud. All right, ISIS is just the definition of blowback. You fucking gave them weapons. You said, hey, guys, fucking, I don't fucking understand it. History repeats itself over and over and over. We're like, those brown guys are the bad guys. Let's give these brown guys weapons to kill those brown guys. Well, those brown guys are out of the way. Oh, now these brown guys are angry. I didn't see that coming. It's over-exaggerated by the media as far as how many there are, as always. It's over-exaggerated the damage, but they are still very, very dangerous. But where did they get the weapons? Where? Oh, I got an idea. Since ISIS is so bad, why don't we give the Foot Clan? Why don't we, hey, Foot Clan, hey, Shredder, come on over. Here's some weapons. If you can take care of ISIS, oh, ISIS is gone. Now the Foot Clan is completely out of control. Hey, old school Nazi zombie fucking just Nazi zombies, get over here. Here's weapons. If you could take out the foot soldiers, that'd be great. Oh my God, the Nazi zombies are the problem. It's a vicious cycle of stupidity. Booms, would you like to give a more normal answer?
Yes. Okay, here's actually what's going on. Ignore what Dave Kokotis just said. This is a Sunni, like a splinter group of the Sunnis, which is I guess like equivalent, just a splinter group of Islam. They're a militant Islamic group. They've actually come up out of nowhere. I've never heard of these guys before this incident. Not to say that they didn't exist before this. They've been around, but they've organized quickly. They're very efficient. Now they've executed, or should I say, beheaded 2 American journalists. They're holding a British citizen hostage, threatening to do the same to him. Personally, how I think they should be handled is how you should handle any kind of fucking cockroach. You fucking step on them. You don't negotiate with them. You don't try to convert them. No, you go in there and drone the fuck out of them. That's what we did in northern Iraq against them a few weeks ago. They were holding a dam there in North. Can't you tell I work in the news? They were holding a dam there. U.S. drone strikes, kind of helped, or airstrikes, excuse me, helped the Kurdish forces and some the Iraqi military helped retake this dam, which was a key strategic point in the region. These guys are very dangerous, not to be trifled with. I would say, not saying put troops on the ground. I think we shouldn't have withdrawn our troops from Iraq so soon. I think it's when you let your commanders make the decision instead of political motivations. Because now I think we've pulled out too soon. Now there's a chance we're going to have to send people back. And, Dave Kocosports, I mean, the whole reason he's fucking hurt is because he went for happy, sexy, fun time there the first time around. And now the way things are going, his son may have to go in there for the second time. So
my son ain't doing Obama's kids. My son George Bush's kid. My son ain't fucking doing shit except going to fucking college. But yeah, it's a problem that's going to lead to another problem that's never going to end. That's what I think it is. It's a domino effect, and I think if you don't. It's just bullshit. I guess it's just pure bullshit. Because my whole thing is, where did they get the weapons? And then once I know where they got the weapons, I'm like, I just throw my hands up in the air and be like, fuck it, I'm going home. I know it's not the most patriotic attitude to have, but it is what it is. Rob, do you want to do anything, or you just want to skip that one? Rob's also.
I would just say that the CIA keeps things interesting. That's all I really have to say.
Good luck,
fucking stupid.
Get together.
This is political AM now.
Yeah. All right, Andy Paps. Hey guys, how would you guys book Bound for Glory, and should Gold and Stardust win the tag titles at the next pay-per-view? All right, so we got a TNA and WWE question. Andy Paps he's going right down the middle. He's being fair. Bound for Glory, I'd have Bobby Lashley take on Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe take on Low Ki, Dale Kim, probably maybe Havoc, but I'm not really sure. Because her and Terrell are such a great matchup. So I think those would be the main matchups. American Wolves maybe take someone on, and then try your best to kiss New Japan's ass so you get some New Japan talent. Or at least bring in some Dragon Gates in. I mean, it would be great to see that. So that's how I feel about Bound for Glory. As far as Goldust and Stardust, I got mixed feelings. I think they deserve to win the titles, but that stat on Raw where they have the 5th longest tag team title reign, I was like, whoa, that'd be cool if Usos won the longest title reign. So I got mixed feelings as far as that. But let's go to tiebreakers. Rob, you don't know much about TNA, so we'll just stick with Goldust Stardust. What's your thoughts on Goldust Stardust winning tag titles for the next pay-per-view? Good, bad?
I'm a pretty big fan of it. I like Goldust and Stardust. I don't really care about the record. I really don't care if the mini Cena team gets the record. I don't care. But I like Goldust and Stardust. I think they're entertaining. I think they're great in ring. Their promotions are a little bit weird, but they're entertaining. And for Bound for Glory, I would cancel it, or I would book Brooke Tessmacher in 20 matches.
TNA's been doing really good. You mean I don't know if I'm so positive on TNA, or do I just have to defend it because you're so negative? You're like Two-Face. You're like positive WWE. I never even watched TNA, and I won't even touch it. It's a dirty whore.
I'm honest.
I think TNA has been better in New York City and in February. That's my honest opinion. I think the rest of the time WWE has been better. I know there's some extremists that will be like, TNA's always been better, WWE's always been better, and I just don't believe that. Booms! Bound for Glory, Stardust, Goldust.
Let's see, Goldust, Stardust. I'm not a big fan of them as heels. I think with the way they are, their look, everything, I believe that they need to be baby faces. I think they're just doing them as heels just to have somebody for the Usos to feud with. I'm hoping that once this feud runs its course, they go back to being good guys. As far as booking it to win, I would actually have to do it the opposite way. I would have to have it to where, actually, here's what I would do. At the pay-per-view, I would have them cheat to win, have one distract the other, or have Cody Rhodes, as the Stardust character, take those little gold stars that he has and blow that in the face of one of the Usos and allow Goldust to get the win and put his feet up on the ropes. I mean, hell, if you're going to do it, go all the way with it. So that's what I would do. As far as booking Bound for Glory in Japan, I think you do need to feature some Japanese wrestlers. I remember back when ECW had their first pay-per-view, I think their opening match, it was more of an exhibition match. It was a six-man tag. It was all guys from Michinoku Pro. I would just tell, if you're working with people like the Great Muta, well, who are some guys you want to feature? Have it be like a thank you. Just we'll add this as a bonus match. We'll we'll take up time on our pay-per-view to feature some of your guys. Who do you think we need to feature? You can have like a tag match or a one-on-one match, depending on what the situation is. I would find a way to kind of keep the results under lock and key, at least till they could get it uploaded to the net. That way they could maybe, hopefully make some money off of it. And I would keep Dixie Carter in the back. So just go out there and let them do what they do and have fun.
Good News Garrett says they could improve the network if they stop mentioning the 999 bullshit. Maybe. I can't believe that they're actually selling 999 shirts for over $20. If you buy one of those shirts, you're what's wrong.
I may have, if you buy one of those shirts, I may have to cut your balls off.
Franielli, all right, let's get a little off topic here. Franielli says, Have you watched the movie Watchmen? If you did, your thoughts, guys. I don't buy many Blu-rays or DVDs. I'm just not a collector like that.
It's automatically coded. I don't buy many of those fancy Blu-rays and DVDs. Back in my day, we had the video store. We had to go in there and search high and low for these things called VHS tapes.
All right,
no,
all right.
I'd say they had silent pictures.
I didn't want to pull this out. I didn't want to be the asshole who pulled this out, but I'm more book reader. I collect.
Please, like anyone
books.
Believes you can read.
I read books. That makes me better than you, says everyone else who reads books. No.
Except you were Marine, so we know the only books you read were like See Spot Run, Run Spot Run.
And you know what? It still had less plot holes than Watchmen is one of the few DVDs I have. I like Watchmen a lot. I like the movie a lot. I like V for Vendetta too, written by the same guy. V for Vendetta is probably my favorite movie of all time. I know it's not everyone's.
It talks about Guy Fawkes and blowing up the government.
Yeah, I love.
Dude, don't lie. You jerk off to that movie. Oh, remember the 5th of November. Oh, the corporations are evil. Oh, kill the government. Oh.
I was one of the few guys who watched Watchmen before I read the comic book. So I think people that read the comic book first were a little upset with it. I didn't. I read the comic book second, and I enjoyed the movie a lot. Rob, you're a comic book guy. Watchmen, your thoughts?
They changed some pretty big elements. It was a decent movie if you thought of it as its own standalone, but if you thought of it as like a comic adaptation to film, it was like, you missed the mark a few times. Also, there's a bit of an overemphasis on Blue Man penis. That, like, I didn't need to see his dick that much.
Dude, I remember Ralph Mosca, an indie wrestler / promoter, dude, watched the movie and couldn't stop talking about the blue penis. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what he was like, what the fuck, blue penis everywhere. I'm like, yeah, but what about the story? I couldn't pay attention. Blue penis everywhere.
I think he's got issues.
It's just like when Vince McMahon watches Raw. He's like, I don't know. I couldn't pay attention. Just Cena shirtless everywhere. It was great.
Yeah, so there you go. Booms, your thoughts on The Watchmen?
Well, I watched that movie in college for the first time. I have still to this day haven't read the comic book. I've heard the comic book was actually better. I haven't had a chance to check that out. So, who knows? Maybe that's worth a look. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was like this big blockbuster that. I don't think it was as bad as some people made it out to be, and I don't think it was as good as other people made it out to be. But I was entertained by it. I enjoyed it. Would I watch it again? Yeah, I might. I might watch it again. But then again, I haven't watched it again since I first saw the movie. But overall, I was entertained.
All right, Lennox Wooderson says, how to fix the WWE Network. Make it 1999, add other current promotions. That's a home run, Lennox. I agree with that. New Japan, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Ring of Honor, you're a network now. Stop acting like a monopoly. Run advertisements. Oh, hold on. Run advertisements between shows, I guess. Create WWE shows and the original content. I do believe that. And I think you have a network. Everyone here has a different style of pro wrestling. You're WWE, you have WWE Network, you're a monopoly, you're as close to a monopoly as you can possibly get. Find out on your network, have something for DCW fans, have something for pro wrestling fans, have something for Lucha fans. I just don't understand. You're killing off everything that is pro wrestling and becoming a monopoly and then going, you better like the way we like it. And ESPN, no one does that. If you're a legit network, you care about everybody. Right now, and this was from a Twitter, I wish I remembered which member of the Internet Infantry said it, but whoever it is, thank you. They said it perfectly. The only drama in WWE right now is WWE, it's creative versus the fans. And if you have a network, you shouldn't have that. You should be like, oh, you don't like Raw, you like Pro Wrest? Well, turn on Thursday nights. Pro Wrest Power Hour, starring John Cena. I just made myself sad with that last statement. But still, you have a fucking network. It's like going to ESPN going, I like hockey. Oh, man, that's a bad example. It's like going to ESPN and saying, I like baseball. I'm like, well, we have baseball tonight. All right, I like Lucha. WWE Network, what do you have? We have Rey Mysterio. Fuck you! So they
don't have him anymore.
Yeah, free Ray. Hashtag free Ray. Fred Yelly says, do you think it will take Vince stepping down of power for Cena to stop being shoved down our throats? And if you had the power to do creative decisions for Cena's character, how would you deal with it? You know what? You love this. We're going to post your second column. Rob, you're the fantasy booker. How do you save John Cena?
Well, for one thing, John Cena doesn't go down my throat. I'm not Hulk Hogan. That's his job. He was hired for a specific purpose in this era, and we all know what it is. Matching colors, everything. They're basically dating. I don't...
They are. That's how Asians date. If you go to Korea and Japan, the girlfriend and the boyfriend wear the same clothes. They are dating in Asia. Go ahead.
I don't know that you could save John Cena purely because people are really ingrained toward hating John Cena at this point, and I think anything you do is it's not gonna work just because it's gonna have to be like perfect. It's absolutely perfect for people to even give it a chance. Like, the heel turn's probably the best thing that could happen to him, a slow heel turn into like the Bray Wyatt style heel turning him with Bray Wyatt just coming back, and that would help redeem Bray's failed feud with him a little. But even that, I don't know. Like, I don't think you can actually save John Cena in the sense that the fans would want him saved.
Yeah, Booms, you got any ideas?
How to save John Cena? Easy. I mean, just throttle back on the guy. I mean, there's not. Let him keep doing what he's doing in terms of, like, the Make-A-Wish, and if he wants to be a good guy, fine. And I think I think it would be stupid to turn him heel. So if anybody's asked that question, is now the time to turn John Cena heel? I'm answering that question. No, I would say never turn him heel. Just make him have more human characteristics. When he stops goofing around and actually takes things seriously, shows some vulnerability, then yeah, things are working out. Things work out for him. Things are a lot better. You're able to stomach him. You're like, oh, okay. Like, remember when he had that feud against The Rock? He actually, showed his passion both of those years. And I was like, oh, wow, this is like a different John Cena. And then right as soon as it was over, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, I'm like, God, just don't go back to that. But, if you put him up in a match against 3 or 4 people, he shouldn't win, because realistically, that's not going to happen. It shatters the realism. So, so I guess throttle back on him a little bit, make him a little bit more human, get to know him a little bit more in terms of, why does he, go out like, no, not this fucking corporate generic bullshit answers. No, really, why do you do this? Is there some kind of vulnerability? Is he an insecure person? Is that why he does it? He feels like he has to have the adulation of the fans to, is that what makes him tick? Something along those lines. And teach him a few more wrestling holds and moves, and, I think everything should be fine with them. But instead, they're going to rocket the guy to the top, shove him down our throat. Now, see, they're doing this with Roman Reigns, and if the fans turn on Roman Reigns, then WWE should realize that they have a problem. But WWE's never going to admit that. So, at least those are my suggestions.
All right, here's my 2 suggestions, and one of them is it's going to get some heat, but it's going to, I think, for Sam and John Cena, it's going to be good, and hear me out on it. One, I know it's going to sound bad, and you're going to tear me up. He beats Brock Lesnar for the title, walks away champion, we never see him again. I think people will be like, well, John Cena wasn't that bad, and if he's never on television, he wins championship, he walks out because the beating was too much. A little bit of Rocky IV. It's just like, dude, I won the title.
Actually, Dave, this is Rocky III. Get it straight. See, Rusev, that's Rocky IV. John Cena right now wrestling Brock Lesnar. That's Rocky III. So apparently, somebody on WWE Creative was talking about the Rocky box set.
Well, sir, if you'd let me continue, I was talking Rocky V. After the Russian beat him so bad, he has to retire. I would have him retire with the title and just go away, because the thing is, we all hate John Cena. He walks away, he retires. I think he wasn't that bad, would grow, and I'd never let him wrestle again. It would actually help his career. And the other one is, if he doesn't want to retire, I would have it where John Cena puts up, hey, I will never come back to wrestling unless Paul Heyman lets me, or some bullshit storyline like that. I would phrase it a lot better. But I'd have Brock Lesnar beat John Cena, right? And then the way Paul Heyman mentions The Undertaker, I'd have him mention John Cena. And then I would do it over and over and over again. And John Cena would do everything he does now except appear at pro wrestling events. And the reason why is because it would be like the Heyman feeling. He's the 1 in 21. He beat The Undertaker. He took out John Cena. John Cena can never come back. And they're like, yeah! Well, just keep grinding that. Just have Paul Heyman go out there and grind it. And when he starts getting cheered, bring him back. And if he never gets cheered, well, don't make a wish. Don't make movies. Your career's over. So those are the 2 storylines I'd have. I'd either have, because you have to kind of save his reputation. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a legend one day, because that's the way WWE is. You have to either have him do a Rocky V thing where he calls, he's in the shower, his hands shaking. We've all been there. Oh no, only people with bad concussions? Well, I've been there. Your hands are shaking, and you call him, and it's like, Mickey, get the doctors! And then he just retires. And then the guys that are like, oh, he's not that bad, would grow in numbers. Either that, or have a gimmick where Paul Heyman has all the power, and he's like, he's never coming back. And he'll get cheered. But you just wait until maybe one day they boo him. I don't think it will ever happen. But that's what I would do to try to save John Cena. And it really isn't really saving John Cena. It's kind of like, I can't save you. I just want to give you a happy ending. There you go. Quick, who do you think? Andy Papp says, in a battle of knockouts, divas, who would win? Gail Kim or Paige? I am Gail Kim all the way. I think Gail Kim, I said this in the last show, I got a little bit of heat on the secret messages, but I still stick by it. In North America, Gail Kim is the greatest wrestler of all time. I believe that. So if I say in North America she's the greatest wrestler of all time, I'm like, well, what about Paige? Well, no, I already made my stance. I love Gail Kim more than a straight man should. That doesn't make any sense, but I have a man crush. I mean, I just have a crush on Gail Kim. I think she's the best female wrestler in the world. No, rewind. -10 for me in North America. Gail Kim or Paige? Gentlemen, I will go with Mr. WWE first. Rob, Gail Kim or Paige? Gail Kim actually was in WWE at one time. She left by eliminating herself in a battle royal. True story.
No, it's Paige. Definitely Paige.
There's a part of me that wants to fucking punch you in the nuts. Boobs!
Both.
Who?
Both.
Oh, what a fucking son of a bitch. So we go nowhere. Leave it to the internet. Boobs is
No. Because I would do them both.
No, I don't think it's a battle. I don't think it. All right.
It's not that kind of competition, I don't think.
All right.
It is in my mind.
All right. Well, there you go. All right.
Both now?
Mr. Big says WWE is so full of shit with Be a Star program. When they have storylines where they bully the roster, especially Daniel Bryan, the Rhodes Brothers, and others. And a lot of people use a bullshit excuse, well, that's just storylines. Well, they're straight up bullies outside of fucking storylines. The Be a Star program, ran by the WWE, is what's wrong with life. It's what's wrong with society. You are fucking damaging these kids. And the sad part is, if there's any real teachers at these assemblies, how the fuck don't you stand up? You sell out fucking pigs. I think Be a Star, as former Teacher of the Year, bam, bowling, is the worst fucking program possibly imaginable. I cannot think of a worse program. Matter of fact, when people are like, wow, this generation sucks, remember Be a Star. Be a Star is by far the worst fucking thing WWE has ever done. Ever. Ever. It's absolutely fucking horrible, and it's fucking lies. And you're not preparing them for the real world. You're not even preparing them for working in your company. It's bullshit. Be a Star. I don't know if you guys are as negative at Be a Star as I am, but I absolutely fucking hate it. Booms! We'll go middleman. Are you as negative as me? Are you as positive as Rob is going to be after you?
I'm always the middleman. What are you talking about? I'm the only rational one here. Everybody else is crazy. I'm the only sane one left.
Mm-hmm.
You think Be a Star is bullshit? That is the question.
Do I think? It depends on what your definition of Be a Star is. I think I do think it's a good program. From someone who, I know, shocker, was bullied in school a little, growing up, particularly in middle school. It really sucks, and anything you can kind of do to kind of break that cycle, I think, is a good thing. However, I believe you need to teach these kids God, I just sound like a fucking old guy on that one. These kids today. No, hey, it's old man boom boom. No, I think we need to raise up this next generation to not be victims. We need to teach these kids, you know what, there are times when you need to stand up for yourself, and by standing up for yourself means sometimes putting your fist up and defending yourself. There's nothing great, and this is one thing I hate about fucking schools. And I hated it, and I hated it in middle school, and I sure as hell hated it in high school. The rules are that if two people get into a fight, both those people get suspended. Where it doesn't matter who started the fight, I think it should be whoever started the fight should get suspended, and the other person just defending themselves, whatever. Just, leave them alone. So anything we can do to prevent those situations is always welcome. Try to break the stigma, try to maybe find out why these kids are bullied, because there's always a reason why every bully bullies. And, so that program is good, but also I think there needs to be some initiative on the parents' part to teach these kids, you need to stand up for yourself. It's okay, you're going to have to get a little dirty because this is a rough world we live in, and if you let it beat you down, it will do it every time. So be sure to stand up for yourself, and don't be afraid to put up your dukes.
I think for me, it's definitely I don't have a problem with be a star, though I would have a problem if you made it so that the kid who quote unquote defended himself, i.e. was the one who swung second, didn't get suspended. Man, I never would have got suspended. And I started almost all of those fights with verbal harassment to get them to swing. Like that rule would have got abused just
Actually,
like the
no,
rule
actually,
from
no.
my
It
parents.
nothing with you because you started it.
No, because you do it in a way that you can't get in trouble. I used to get away with it all the time because my parents would want to know everything that happened. My
But
parents had one rule: I wouldn't get in trouble at home if I didn't start the fight. So I just bait kids into starting the fights.
New Jersey is famous for just bullying and beating each other up where I grew up, and my uncle gave me way better advice than fucking Be a Star ever would. He walked by, saw me doing something completely fucking weird, and goes, "You're the weirdest fucking kid in the world. You better learn how to fight." He's like, "It's okay to be weird, but you have to learn how to fight." And I noticed that because, like, about I was bullied through probably like 7th through 9th grade, and like 10th grade I took karate because a karate instructor let me take free classes if I just fucking cleaned up his racehorses and shit. And one day I had like a Karate Kid moment, and this kid was like, "Hey, fuck you, Coco," and I was like, "All right, fuck it, let's throw down." And from that day on, and I didn't even throw a fist. From that day on, people were like, "Oh, he's weird, but let him be." And the same thing in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps, you can get, and I guess the Army's the same way, you can get bullied bad, especially if you're fucking weird. If you ask anyone in the Marine Corps, they're like, "No, Dave's fucking weird." But after they saw how I could fight, no one harassed me. So learning how to fight and defend yourself is important, because especially if you're weird and an outsider. And in the high school and in the Marine Corps and probably life, I've been a weirdo outsider. It's just that. But in the Marine Corps, I remember like the first 2-3 weeks when I got attached to my unit, 2-6 Golf Company. When I got attached to my unit, everyone fucking harassed me. Like, "Oh, that fucking kid from Jersey, he talks with an accent. Fucking let's get him." And they would just fuck with me. And I was like, all right, it's the first 3 weeks. You kind of deal with it. It's the military. You're the lowest rank. And then we had hand-to-hand combat. And I knew how to throw fists, thanks to that karate instructor and my uncle and everyone in New Jersey for beating the fucking living shit out of me. And a couple parents / guardians who fucking thought it was a good idea to beat the fuck out of me. So I really knew how to throw fists because of my shitty fucking background and a karate instructor. So everyone busted my balls. Yeah, dude. They're like, "All right, let's fight." Bam! They saw me fight, and they're just like, "Oh, Coco, you're part of the team. Welcome aboard." Yeah, don't fuck with him. He's a nice guy. So learning how to fight and defend yourself is a lot more positive than not. And I'm not saying go out there and bully and beat the fuck out of people. But at the same time, if you're a weird outcast kid, you're going to have to learn how to fight. And that's not what Be a Star is telling you. And even Be a Star, when you grow up, all these kids, you think if you took Be a Star's qualities and joined WWE as a company, you would survive. You would be getting eaten alive, kids. And I hate that. I hate when they give advice that will fail. And WWE is giving people advice that will fail. All right, let's go. We're going to go back to live comments. This is from Old School Booms. Will remember this guy. House Show Wrestling. Monday Night Football is on this week, and they're not advertising Cena. If Cena is in the background or not here at all, he is a fucking coward. Do you think he will be a coward? Do you think John Cena will take a back seat this week? And I do believe Market Something from YouTube asked a similar question. Do you think if there's no John Cena on the first Monday Night Football, he is a fucking coward? I say yes, yes, and yes. And he has been a coward years past. In the last 2 weeks, not major preseason or no Monday Night Football, all John Cena. They have not advertised John Cena for this Raw. They're going against Monday Night Football, I believe a doubleheader. Ratings are going to go down. If John Cena is not part of this show, is he a fucking coward? I say yes. Booms?
I don't know why the hell would they not book him. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining that they haven't booked him, but I'm just saying from a business standpoint, if he's your top baby face, why wouldn't you book him? I mean, you want to convince people to not watch Monday Night Football and keep watching. Yeah, I know what you're going to say, but To me, it just doesn't make sense. And plus, I don't know, is he in charge of being booked? I mean, is WWE trying to protect him? Or is he going, hey, look, Monday Night Football, it's the very first one. I don't want to be on the show because I'll be blamed for the fucking, I don't want this clusterfuck that's coming towards me, I don't want to be associated with that. So, go ahead.
I think it's because, and he's in cahoots. It's not like John Cena's like, I'm a good guy. I think ratings are going to go down, and then they're going to be like, look, what happened with John Cena? I was surprised he even showed up on Labor Day. I think if John Cena is not a big part of this show, which I don't want as a fan, he's a fucking coward, and the company is a coward. Rob, you're pro WWE. John Cena did not show up on Monday Night Raw against Monday Night Football's opener. Is he a coward?
Well, I will say that I do take a different mindset in that I don't believe deep down in my core that John Cena makes every single decision related to the John Cena persona and character. I don't think he has that level of power. And there is always the possibility that maybe he just really loves Monday Night Football, and he's like, you know what? Let me just go to the let me just watch the first week each year, guys. Don't make me work it. Let me just have that first week off. I love Monday Night Football. Maybe he's just a big football fan.
Yeah, listen. If that's the case, I'll fucking high five him. Like,
can I point out?
Like, whoa! I gotta watch Monday Night Football, guys. Sorry. Then I'd be like, you know what? Maybe he's not that bad guy. But I don't think he's calling the shots 100%. But I think he has enough power that he's calling the shots 90% of the time. But it's not even the calling the shots. It's like, you're going to be the champion. Okay, I agree with that. Like, it's not like he has to challenge for anything. But I do believe WWE Creative and him are a bunch of cowards if they don't fucking show him. It'd be great as a fan. I'm looking forward to him not being on Raw, but it'll show him.
That's the part that baffles me. It's like, it's great as a fan. All the fans keep saying, oh, we want to see less Cena. We want to see less Cena. Too much Cena. And then they're like, they're not advertising Cena next week. He's a fucking coward. Why doesn't he work every week?
Because
fuck you, Cena, you piece of shit.
Let me answer for the fans that are fucking on my side. Because when the ratings go down, they're going to say, look, we need John Cena. The game is rigged. And every time Monday Night Football comes around, he doesn't show up, they dip ratings, and then they're like, see, John Cena needs ratings. The game is rigged. That's why it's a fucking coward. But who knows? Maybe he'll be here and we'll still be unhappy. John Cena's got to the point in his life that if John Cena saves us doing CPR, we'll probably still hit him. All right, let's go to Google+. You guys ready to go to an ugly place? Let's go to Google+. Tom from Google Plus says, oh, Tom, what in the blue hell is GFW, Global Force Wrestling? Going to turn out to be anything? They have 1 million partners, but nobody knows what they are partners for. Yeah, they do have partners, New Japan and people around the world. I think it's going to be good. It's all just up to the television deal and the roster. Right now, they're really just hyping up partnerships, and it's just Jeff Jarrett's dream. But Jeff Jarrett did originally make TNA, so I think he'll make GFW. But I think the roster and the television deal, when we hear that, it will actually be something.
I'm excited.
Go ahead.
No, I just had to say I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope it does good. We need something that gives us hope, really, because if not, butt slammers and superfan have to come back, and only certain fans will know what that means. Dude, Booms, you don't have to answer the GFW question, but you do have to answer this question. You ready?
Ready.
If Raw is as bad as the last 2 weeks, is butt slammers and superfan coming back? We have to bring it back if it's bad.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to come back. I think me and you will have to, kind of tap out and tag in the positive fans.
Which one of you is butt slammer?
That Orton's butt slammer is Boom Boom's super positive over the top character, and I'm Superfan 99, my super top character.
So I guess I would just be myself.
Yeah, you would be yourself, and so would a lot of other YouTubers, you fucking cocksucking sellout pieces of shit.
Well, I'm not selling out. I just don't care.
Just buying in. I I know you love the Shield. All right, this is more our level. Flair's daughter, would you? Question.
Oh yeah.
Rob is jumping on board. Me and Booms are like, I don't know. Rob's like diving in, fucking naked. All right, Booms. Flair's daughter, would you?
Would I do what?
What would you assume the other one was about?
Would you have sexual encounters with Ric Flair's daughter?
Oh, with Charlotte? Yeah,
Yeah.
I would.
I'm saying yeah, but I don't know. Kissing her would be a little weird.
Yeah, let's pretend you're hesitant, Dave, because God knows if she put her hand on your thigh, you'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm
Kissing you's gonna be a little weird.
Woo! Woo! Because I would fuck Hogan's daughter. See, I'd definitely fuck Flair's daughter. The problem is she would definitely be unsatisfied. That's guaranteed. But on top of that, when they're getting the sex from anyone, not just from me, do you think there's woos and oh yeah brothers? Like, do you think Brooke Hogan's getting fucked? They're like, oh, I'm the Hulkster. Oh yeah, brother.
I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm so deep inside of you, brother. What are you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on that ass? And she's like, God, stop it. That's creepy. That's my dad.
Here's my question to Charlotte. Do you think Charlotte's ever had the intercourse and someone not say woo?
I imagine, like, that's the sort of thing that if you're dating Ric Flair's daughter, I feel like that's the sort of thing that if this guy was ever a wrestling fan, afterwards he has to roll over on his side and just be like, woo.
Like, woo! All right, so in the comments, would you? I mean, I don't know. People always ask these questions, and then, like, you know, you're like really thinking about it, but then you're like, in real life, who the fuck? Like, what diva? If a diva came up to you and said, "Let's have sex right now," you're like, "All right, I'm in."
Pretty much most female wrestlers. I mean, I'm not banging Awesome Kong. Put Awesome Kong on my no list, but the majority you could put on my yes list.
Oh, Awesome Kong is on top of my yes list.
Wow.
Dude.
You know, Dave's not racist.
It might not be. This is going to be a bit racist, I guess. I don't know. It's not going to be PC. I used to always go to this Hardee's to buy lunch. No, it was Wendy's. I used to always go to this Wendy's. When I worked at television producer, I always used to go to this Wendy's for lunch. Because when you're a television producer, you can ask who. You work long hours. So I used to go to this Wendy's for breakfast and lunch, but not dinner. Because there was this huge black lady who just flirted with me. And I was like, I love giant black ladies who flirt with me. I don't know if that makes me a racist, a bad cursing, but she'd be like, oh, what you doing? And she would say shit that I don't even know what it means, but it'd make me blush. I'm like, really, if you want to get out, well, fuck right now. So yeah, I think I have a crush on big black women there, I said. Especially if they're nice. Like, if they're angry big black women, if they're angry women, period, I'm like turned off. Like, that doesn't matter. You can be the hottest chick in the world. You'd be like, I'm angry. Like, yo, listen, I can just go masturbate. This ain't happening. But,
I don't know. I could hate fuck the hell out of Stephanie McMahon.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to a more serious topic. Some MMA questions here, but they're kind of vague MMA questions, so you guys can talk too. War Machine. I don't know if you guys keep up with War Machine. This is from Google Plus. I must warn you from Google Plus. Google Plus is the dirty section of Kocosports. War Machine, is it unfair to charge him with attempted murder just because he's a fighter, even though his woman was a whore?
I'm pretty sure the attempted murder is for the knife play that was involved, and the fact that he walked off to go get a sharper knife when she ran away.
Well,
and that was when she ran away.
Here's the thing. On Google Plus, which is a very dirty place, the kids don't use Google Plus. And let's see. Yep, no one's using Google Plus anymore right now. But anyway, they're having a conversation, and their question is, since he's a fighter and she's a whore, he should get off of this. And I think any single person who doesn't use Google Plus has to disagree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw pictures of what he did to that woman, and yeah, I completely agree with the fucking charges. He needs to go bye-bye for a while.
Yeah. And this is why, you don't date crazy people, women or men.
They weren't even dating anymore. They've been broken up for a long time. He just showed up randomly because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I don't understand how people can defend it. I know there's loyalty to your favorite athletes, loyalty to your favorite companies, which I don't understand.
Where's the loyalty to your favorite porn star?
Yeah, but as far as this goes, dude, he should be punished. I don't think it's even a question. But Google Plus, there's a huge debate. How will Jim Ross MMA debut with Chael go? Chael Sonnen, really funny guy. He's going to be doing commentary with Jim Ross on MMA. I think it's going to go great. I'm not a big fan of Jim Ross, but I respect his abilities, I guess, and Chael is absolutely awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Do you guys think Jim Ross can convert into sports? He has done boxing. He's about to do MMA, and he did do XFL and some college games. So, and not all that, but even though I'm not a fan of Jim Ross, I'm happy that he's still getting on with his life and being successful without the E. Guys, your thoughts? Jim Ross, Chael Sonnen doing MMA commentary.
No, I'm all for it. Like you already mentioned, yeah, he's done some boxing commentary. I know he was at one point pushing to do commentary for the Oklahoma Sooners. He's succeeding despite WWE. I mean, he's just like, they fired me and I'm moving on with my life. I mean, he's got his own barbecue sauce company. I mean, he's doing just fine. So go Jim Ross. The only thing that I hope happens, and I really do mean this, remember when he was with WCW, and we're going way back here, some people are like, what? Jim Ross worked for WCW? Yeah, way back in the day before Eric Bischoff fired him because he had too much of a southern accent, and that is true. He went and joined WWE and put everything he had into the WWE, trying to put their talent over, trying to bury WCW. I hope maybe Jeff Jarrett comes calling or somebody else, comes calling, and he's able to call wrestling matches again, and it pulls fans back in with some good commentary, and he takes WWE to the woodshed.
Rob,
I hope so too.
Good.
I hope so too, because JR has some of the best commentary skills. I mean, come on. He made every move seem like it might potentially kill that guy. Like, oh my god, he's probably dead. I'm pretty sure he just got his head snapped off by HBK. Like, I can't do it like Booms, obviously. But seriously, he sold every match. Like, going back and watching footage where he was announcing versus watching now, he made the matches so much more exciting because his excitement for it was contagious. And I think him doing any kind of commentary is great. And Chael Sonnen, he's naturally charismatic and he's entertaining, so I think it'll work.
All right, and then final one from Tom from Google Plus. Did you know in Canada a stick of pepperoni is called a cock of pepperoni? Did Patterson come up with the name? I did not know that. I have a lot of Canadian friends. Dear Canadian Internet Infantry, you really call it a cock of pepperoni? All right. I know Patterson is gay and has come up with a lot of great ideas, or claims to come up with a lot of great ideas, but I'm going with you probably not. What's going on? You guys are buying the network at higher prices. I don't know. But anyway, here's a fellow Canadian. Hockey Fan HD. I was thinking of buying the network, but I heard it had 30 hours of video on demand. It was $12 and was unavailable for 25% of Canada. I lost all respect for the company and will refuse to give them a cent now. Way to lowball us Canadian fans. Hockey Fan HD. Mikey says, do you think TNA has a more legit champion, as they are not only building Lashley TNA World Championship run, but they are highlighting the active fights with Bellator compared to WWE's lackluster map push to Brock Lesnar being world champion? This is a really tough question. It really is. Bellator is a second-rate, TNA is a second-rate, but I still think it's a great idea. I think it'll get other fans into it. Lashley's there every week. Lashley is a lot better at hiding their weaknesses than Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar is such a superstar, people move past his weaknesses. I think Brock Lesnar is more business, and Lashley's probably better for the fans, but I think both of them are doing a great job. But if I had to go with one, the fan side of me, I'm not even going to go with one. The fan side of me says Lashley's doing better the businessman side of me is like, of course, Brock. Brock is just funny. Lashley or Brock? Who's the better champion? Rob, we're just going to skip you.
It's a good call.
Booms, who do you think?
The Rock.
All right. And Booms, Andy Paps thinks you're hilarious.
Thank you.
I don't know what it's about, but it was a long time.
It's everything he says.
I feel will be a big success. It's only going to grow. It's sad that they can put shitty shows on and can get away with it. I honestly believe that, good news, Garrett. I believe if September isn't a loss and it doesn't look like it's going to be, good pro wrestling is dead in America.
But to be fair, Raw and SmackDown are the only shows that don't really go on the network. So wouldn't it be better to judge the fate of WWE off the performances of NXT and Main Event and the pay-per-views than Raw and SmackDown, under the potential that they might be trying to work toward an eventual shift toward Main Event being the primary show?
That's a very positive spin, and it's a lot of hope. And if it works out, I'll give you a high five, but I'm not putting my money behind what you just said for 1 second. Booms, you want to add anything?
Nah, keep going, guys.
Mike Ashman's laughing his ass off. I laugh at the actual being a Stump the Idiot question. Of course, The Rock is black pro wrestling. Coming from an Italian, Jamaican, Canadian, to me personally, race has how you put nationalities in a class. Rich, middle. That's really deep for Stump the Idiot. Thank you. Branielli says, Rob had the best answer when it comes to The Rock being considered black or not. That was a good question. Give yourself a Barrett Horowitz, Rob. Mr. Big says, I'm usually a positive person when he's watching Japanese porn, and then promotes a couple of Japanese porn girls. They told me Tanaka is my personal favorite, just in case anyone wants to know. Mike Ashman, Kenta, Prince Devitt, Kevin Steen, and Willie Mack are now signed to WWE. You can only choose one to appear on the main roster as they debut. Who do you choose? This is a great question. All right, who do you choose? Kenta, Prince Devitt, Kevin Steen, Willie Mack. Only one of them gets pushed to WWE. Booms, who do you choose?
Off the top of my head, Prince Devitt.
All right, Prince Devitt. Rob, who do you choose?
Steen.
And I'm choosing Kenta or Willie Mack. Not only, maybe we're a bunch of racists too.
I know WWE won't utilize him fully. So.
4 game changers for WWE. Who would you feel would be perfect talent for each of these recently signed top international indie talents to feud with, making a strong program? Okay, so who do you think would make a strong program against Kenta? Who would you have Kenta feud against on the WWE or NXT roster?
Devitt.
That's not bad. I think he wants WWE guys already there, though.
Oh.
Well, in Fantasy Lane, if it was Kenta, and assuming everybody was fine, I'd have him feud against Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan was healthy. That's an actual good. Plus, they've had it in history in Japan and in America. Kenta, I think anyone that can actually go. I think Dolph Ziggler would be a great answer for a lot of this. Kofi Kingston, Tyson Kidd, a healthy Daniel Bryan, I think would be our answers. Kevin Steen, obviously, you can bring the El Generico stuff back. So,
yeah.
It's just, I think we can answer this all day long with, I want him to wrestle against talented wrestlers. What will most likely will happen, he'll get pushed to the moon and dun 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 dun.
I would actually really like to see Devitt against Sheamus. Because I think maybe being against Devitt might make Sheamus be more of, good Sheamus. And it could also be an interesting Irish versus Irish type storyline.
And of course they could have a good feud of, I went through Japan and I fucking busted my ass. You just that, like if they want to do shoot fame. Like there's a good shoot fame story there.
Mm-hmm.
Franielli says, I agree with Dave's answer to, is this matter? No, Booms made a good point. Meanwhile, Rob fought us with an intriguing comment. Andy Papp says, I like Bill Alfonso. I call it right down the middle, baby. LOL. Too much old school easy stuff. I'm pretty sure he hates me. EC3 mentioned on Impact during his promo that TNA should focus on the future now. With PWG having to wrap up this epic 3-night event, Bola 14. I can't wait to see it. Which talent would you like TNA to pick up? All right, he gives also a list. Matt Sydal, of course. Drew Golick, I probably mispronounced. Trevor Lee, Chris Sabin, Johnny Garnett. All right, he's got a lot. Let me see off his list. Yeah, I don't know. Just anyone with talent. It's got to the point now where, like, who would I pick up is got to a point of, can he wrestle? Yes, pick him up. Can he not wrestle? No, then don't pick him up. I guess Ricochet would be a great free agent that WB hasn't picked up yet.
Foundation.
Anyone from Dragon Gate. Go ahead.
Uha.
Yeah, of course. And how does he not have a job? Uha's absolutely.
It's baffling. Especially in a time where they desperately need a black champion. Uha's everything they could possibly ask for. Like, there's never been a guy who was more built to perfectly carry WWE right now and fix their race problem. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, Booms. Just that. You want to add anything, or just keep going?
Out of that list, I'm going to pick Ricochet.
All right. Seb Coulter versus Eva Marie, 1 hour Iron Man match at WrestleMania for the WWE title. I don't think that's a question. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I'm sure Zeb Coulter loves the idea.
Yeah. I Am Mikey says, WWE and the network have become a force of advertisement that does not live up to all the hype and the lackluster content and what is being reported of the faulty live streams. Do you consider the network a fail of its current state? Yeah, but it's going to improve. People worship WWE too much. What content would you add to make the network better? New Japan, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Ring of Honor, AAA, CMLL. Personally, WWE Tough Enough would be fun. I did like WWE Tough Enough, but nowadays with the fake reality television, it's just bullshit. Trish Stratus and Tough Enough killed me. I could never respect Tough Enough the show again or Trish Stratus ever again. I'm just going to go fast, guys, so interrupt me if you guys want to say something.
Okay.
Good News Garrett says, I dare Boo Boo and Rob to watch the next Impact, and if they don't enjoy it, I'll be really surprised. Yeah, Impact has been really good.
I'll take that dare. I'll watch. You can choose now, Dave. Do you want me to watch the Impact that came on yesterday, or do you want me to watch next week's? It's a nice little gamble for you.
Let's go next week because it is a gamble and it puts pressure on TNA because I know Dixie's listening. And it can help me do the review show. So
all right, next week I'll watch it.
Next week. And we have no idea if it's going to be good or not because I don't know if it's in New York City. I think that they're leaving New York City now, but who knows. But yeah, next week, complete mystery, but the whole thing is, what we're doing now is what TNA fails at. We're like, hey, WWE fan, come check out TNA, it's been good. And usually when we convince someone, that's when they go to shit. Booms, are you going to watch Impact on this dare next week?
Yeah, I should. Hell, I should go ahead and do that. And besides, can't be any worse than what WWE's doing.
And if TNA sucks next week, when we got our 2 co-hosts on it, I'm just going to be like, it's TNA. TNA always does bad when the pressure's on. But in February, they were awesome, and in New York City, they were awesome. I do believe, don't quote me on this, I'm pretty sure the next show might be live or in Pennsylvania, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Mr. The King, first thing Cena needs to do is get destroyed by wine. I agree. Is there, Mr. King also goes on, is there a cash-in at Night of Champions so we know who's going to win? Cue his music. Dun, 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 dun. Do you think there's a cash-in at Night of Champions?
I don't.
Rob says
I've heard rumors that the way they want to go is they want to actually have Cena get beat again, but they want to have it happen on a technicality or interference, and then have Cena go on to feud with that person. And the name I've seen drop the most is Seth Rollins. And all I can say is I really hope he loses, but not if it means he's going to feud with Seth Rollins and I'm going to have to feed that to Cena.
Yeah. So, there you go. I don't think a cash-in's going to happen. Booms, do you think a cash-in's going to happen?
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I mean, one scenario that I heard was that Brock Lesnar would win the title, which he's done, and then during the rematch, John Cena would have to dig down deep and take everything he had to beat him, and would barely come out on top. And just as the match ended, Seth Rollins would cash in Money in the Bank and then win the title from John Cena. That's one scenario that I've heard, but I've also heard something about WWE wants, and this is just rumor, by the way. I've got no facts to back this up. There's a lot of things we've got here on Wrestling. Is that WWE wants to build up Brock Lesnar like he needs it, and have him come into WrestleMania as the champion, have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble, and set it up for this match of, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. After Lesnar has leveled all the competition, has Reigns come out as the only guy who has a chance at beating Lesnar.
But actually, there is some evidence to support that, though, like the boost in using him. Like they've apparently come to that agreement where now they're going to be able to use Lesnar more. Also, did Dave freeze?
I mean, no, it's just, it's a possibility. I mean, I'm just throwing those out there. All right, next.
I think Dave froze.
Yes, he did. I guess we'll have to go on to the next one here. The next will be from Mr. The King. He says, the bully thing is a way to weaken the public by giving up their rights. There, I said it. Yes, you did. Sidukil, I think I just fucked that name up. He says, how did you guys enjoy the fappening? Oh, well, Rob, I'm going to start with you on that one. You, sir, what did you think about the fappening?
I approve. I'm mostly just curious, though, on the guys who worked in news, on their reaction to it with how the media is covering it. Because the media has totally flipped from, like posting Hogan's videos and being like, oh, we're not going to take these down, to now they're like, you know what? We're going to take all these down.
Well,
hold on. We had a lot of technical difficulties. I don't know if I've been here, if you've been there. Who's been there?
Yeah, we've been here. And we've got to ask you, Dave. We can hear you. You're doing fine. You're coming in loud and clear. You came in just in time for the question here. How did you, sir, enjoy the fappening?
The fappening. All right. I am one of those things that don't believe in just, I don't know. It's one of those things. I think it's absolutely horrible and disgusting, and it's ruining people's privacy. And I'm a big thing about ruining people's privacy, and I think it's absolutely horrible. Though I did look at 3 or 4 photos, and I felt guilty for doing it because A, half these celebrities I don't know who they are, and B, I'm like, this is fucking horrible, nice tits. This is disgusting, nice bush. This is disgusting. I don't know who you are, nice hats. And then, like, I tip my hat like I'm a classy gentleman. I'm like, too much for me. I'm out. So, like, I wish I didn't see 3 or 4 photos, but I did. Like, I felt bad. I was one of those guys that I was like, dude, a strip club is disgusting. How can you do this to women? Go in, tip a couple dollars, and then tip my hat and leave. I actually find it to be disgusting, but I did see 3 or 4 pictures, and I left, like, thinking I was a classy gentleman. I'm still part of the problem. I just think if the woman wants you to see her naked, then full game. But to hack into something, I just think it's bullshit. I'm against it when the government watches me masturbate to tranny porn, so I'm going to be against it when 4chan hacks women's phones. So I am against it. With that said, I'm a little bit hypocritical because I did click on 3 or 4 of them, but then I was like, you know what? This ain't for me. Good day, sir. So I'm a bit hypocritical because I'm all high and mighty, but I did go 3 or 4. But after those 3 or 4, I felt disgusting, and I was like,
"Oh no, that's good. That's good. Let's apply that other places. Like, you think rape's terrible, but you only put your dick in her 2 or 3 times, and then after that, you're like, you know what, ma'am? I feel bad. Good day. So it's okay then."
All right, good point. I'm a scumbag. I'm embarrassed that I am a scumbag, but I only saw like 2 or 3, and then I felt disgusting clicking it, and then afterwards I felt disgusting, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a classy gentleman and go to YouPorn where women show me their goodies on purpose. Good day, gentlemen. Rob, the fappening, your thoughts, or did you already answer? Wow,
I already answered.
All right. I hope that the internet saw you guys talking. I don't know what happened.
Yes, they did. And it's seeing you talk now, so that's the next question.
All right.
Well, Booms, you didn't answer that one, though, Booms. Don't try and dodge that one, you sneaky fuck.
Rob, what was your answer? Stay away from it?
No, I looked. I don't give a shit. Like, me not looking isn't magically going to make it so that no one's looked at it. Fuck that. Your privacy's already violated. I'm curious.
That is true. That is true. And I think if I knew him, like I saw, the girl I saw was, I saw the girl who played Mary Jane in the original Spider-Man.
Oh, Kristen Dunst.
Yeah, and I saw the TNA Knockout girl. One of the TNA Knockout girls were naked. And I think another one I clicked on, I didn't even know who it was. I was like, yes, you have a vagina. Good day, ma'am. So I think those are the only three I clicked on. So I think it was Velvet Sky. Yeah, there's naked pictures of Velvet Sky allegedly. And a lot of people like they're fake, they're not fake.
And Melina Perez.
Yeah, I think Perez is out there. I didn't see her. So, but I don't know. Because like Gail Kim, she's naked, but she did it for a Korean cell phone, so it doesn't feel as dirty. But these girls were just sending it to like their buddies or wanting to see how their vagina looked to themselves. So, Booms! I was guilty. You know, we have three different answers here. I want to know. Rob's is, I feel bad, but fuck it, it's too late. Me,
I didn't feel bad. I just didn't give a shit.
All right. Well, what's your thing on the fappening? Did you see any of the photos, and did you even bother?
Yeah, I did see some. The story broke on Labor Day. Of course, I ran a story about it. Then finally, you know, just one of the production guys I work with, I'm not going to say his name, he was just like, oh, yeah, they were good. I was like, well, hell, I could just do a story like you just reacting to the pictures. We don't show the pictures. We just show the pictures to you, and then we record you reacting to the pictures. We could just do that. So finally after that, I said, I got home. It was, you know, kind of like what it is now. It was all quiet. You know, there's nobody here but, you know, me, future wife's asleep. And I'm like, okay, look around, click, scroll. Okay, I can see, okay, not many in there. Okay, this is like some personal photo. Oh, yeah, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you. Oh, that's why you're a Hollywood star. Okay, wow, okay, honey, I think you're good enough to do something else for a living. All right, woo, happy, sexy funds. I can't find them anymore. Where the hell did they go? I mean, these things get yanked down as fast as they were going up, and I was like, okay. Moving along with my life.
Yeah, so I don't know, and I thought it was one thing, and we're getting a little too deep, we'll get back to wrestling as far as the fappening goes. One thing, it shows you how hypocritical people are. NSA, don't watch me masturbate. NSA, don't watch me talk to my ISIS friends. But then you're like, wow, naked chicks of celebrities? And then it's also kind of hypocritical, too, because like when a guy's penis gets leaked out, the Huffington Post fucking throws a party and a parade. But then, like, if it's a woman leaked out, they're like, how dare you? So I always thought, like, how much hypocritical people are. Like, at least I'm honest. I was kind of hypocritical. I was like, that's disgusting. Let me see three. No, that's wrong. Good day, gentlemen. At least I know I was hypocritical. But, like, the Huffington Post, you got to put them on blast. There was basketball players with huge cocks, and they were praised it and fucking celebrated it. And so I found it funny. What's the fappening? Cranielli asked. It's a bunch of hackers from 4chan hacked tons of cell phones to get a ton of celebrity porn. If you're interested, you can check out Reddit or 4chan. That's probably your best bet.
All I'll tell you is Jennifer Lawrence and Kate Upton. If those names don't matter to you, then for the most part, you probably won't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. But you know what? I kind of wish I had a time machine. I wish I could be the guy who said it's fucking wrong. No, I'm a hypocritical asshole. But I was only a hypocritical asshole for 3 photos. And Velvet Sky was one of them.
Yeah, no, it's cool. You didn't finish masturbating, so, I mean, it's not as bad.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right. All right, let's go to some previous questions. LP Clash of Kings. Which mid-carders from WWE would have better careers in the ring on TNA? Because currently, right now, WWE don't have a mid-card division. Perfect example, EC3 is what a talent WWE fucked up. Good talented wrestling. TNA all the way. Okay, he lost TNA. So basically, guys in WWE who, if they got repackaged or given a chance, could be huge success in TNA. So we're looking at WWE guys talented. I would probably have Dolph Ziggler on this list, but it seems like they're actually pushing Dolph Ziggler the right way. I'm thinking Kofi Kingston, Tyson Kidd, but he's being pushed pretty good on NXT. Boom, do you have any mid-carders that, if they left for TNA and was used right, would be a star? Because EC3 was kind of a nobody, and now he's a huge star, I believe a huge star in TNA for TNA standards.
Let's see, I would say Zack Ryder would benefit. I think Damien Sandow would benefit. I think Big E Langston would benefit. Who else? Heath Slater would benefit.
Whoa, Heath Slater is doing amazing right now. Let's not break up Slater.
Bros, I don't
Slater Gator.
All right, Mr. Slater Gator. What's some mid-carders, if they jumped to TNA, would, if they were repackaged and used correctly, would be bigger stars? Who would benefit from jumping to TNA? Not money-wise. I know you WWE marks are like, I love money, I swim in it. But just storyline fan-wise, who would benefit jumping to TNA or a smaller promotion?
I'll disregard how they're doing in WWE or how WWE is using them. Like, in terms of just, if this person went to TNA, would they be a huge star for TNA and end up probably helping TNA? Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins would all three, if they went over there, do amazing things.
Yeah, but the problem with those three is that I think WWE is using them as far as the last 2 or 3 weeks, using them correctly. I mean, the Shield, I think they've used correctly.
True, but you have to look at how they're comparing up against the rest of the roster. Like, they're still... Ambrose is the only one that it looks like they're really going to give him a chance to be bigger, like one of the top stars, like top 3. It looks like he has a chance to get there. The other two don't. Whereas if you put the other two in TNA, they have a really strong chance of becoming top 3.
All right, I Am Mikey, that's slick son of a gun. I Am Mikey asked the same question in the previous video and on the live comments. Thank you, I Am Mikey. We'll skip that. Zachary Watts, great review as usual. Thank you. Plenty of laughs and realness. I have Stump the Idiot questions. All right, he has 12, so it's rapid rounds. What do you think of Hollywood reboot movies? We'll do this fast. So me, Rob, Booms, next question. I think Hollywood reboot movies are okay as long as they are fans of what they're making. A lot of people hate reboots, but I think the new Spider-Man reboot, they're actually fans of Spider-Man. I think the reboot for Total Recall, a lot of people didn't like it, but they were actually fans. I honestly believe, I haven't seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles yet, so I don't want to go there. But
I loved it.
Transformers, no one on that set was a Transformers fan. No one. Not a goddamn soul. And if you're a fan, and my whole thing is, call it Robot Wars. Call it whatever you want. Call it Michael Bay's Explosion Robot Hours. Do whatever the fuck you want. But if you're not an actual fan of the product, do not reboot it. But I'm okay with reboots as long as the people doing it know the material. Rob.
I'm okay with it so long as they're passionate. If they're passionate about it, then I'm fine with it.
All right. Booms, reboot movies.
My thoughts are there's a difference between reboots, reimaginings, and remakes. I think the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was horrible. I think it's something that didn't need to be remade. The reboot of Halloween and Friday the 13th, I think, was unnecessary. I haven't seen the brand new Spider-Man movies yet. That's on my list of stuff to watch. From what I've been told, those are better than the ones with Tobey Maguire, which isn't that hard to believe. I think when a reboot is done, I think if it's done better to the source material, that's a good thing. But when you're remaking stuff just to grab a quick buck for stuff that does not need to be remade, like Psycho, I'm against it.
All right, question 2. What are your hopes for Arrow Season 3? you know what? When something is so good and you're a fan of it, and I wish how I felt about Arrow is how I felt about WWE or TNA. But when you're a fan of something, even when something goes bad, like the final fight in the tunnel, that was really shitty. But you give them a pass because you're such a fan and he delivers so much. I really don't have much hopes. I just hope it doesn't go downhill. The only hope I guess I would have if you had a gun to my head is maybe more spin-off characters. Like, I love that the fact that the Flash has his own show. So it would be cool that if WB became like its own little DC universe. So I guess maybe more spin-off characters. But as far as that, besides that, I'm super excited for Season 3. I just saw an exclusive on Facebook, and I probably would masturbate to that before I would the Fatman. I absolutely love the Arrow, and I don't watch much television, so you can thank Booms for getting me hooked on it. I like the Arrow a lot. It's comic booky enough to get away with unrealistic stuff, but it's still real enough to not be embarrassing. I love the level of serious and not seriousness to it. I love the story. I guess just keep it up and maybe have more spin-offs, because the whole Flash thing's got me interested. Rob, you're a comic book guy. You got any hopes for Arrow Season 3?
They can do no wrong for me. Like, at this point, they have done Deathstroke so well that like they could never disappoint me. Not only that, but they're giving us Olicity as a couple finally in the new season.
All right.
As for me, what I like to see again, I kind of like the idea of putting Oliver and Felicity together as a couple. It kind of scares me because I've got a feeling that any woman that gets close to Ollie's gonna either get hurt or get dead. Which is a good way to approach things, because I'm not going to spoil things for those of you who haven't seen. If you haven't seen Arrow, I would highly recommend checking it out. I know for a fact they've got the first season up on Netflix. Second season, I don't know if it's up yet. They killed off a major character in the second season. I'm not going to spoil who it is if you haven't seen it, because I would encourage you to watch that show. So now that I know that the writers have balls and they're willing to take out main, big time characters, it's a kind of a good feeling. I hope Liam Neeson has talked about reprising the Ra's al Ghul character that he did in the Batman movie for the Arrow TV show. I hope they bite and they take him. But I also hope that they kind of throttle back on people that Ollie reveals his secret identity to. I think there's only like 3 people left on that show that doesn't know that Oliver is the Green Arrow. I'm just like, stop doing that. And stop adding all the, having all these rogues galleries I like, but when you start revealing your secret identity to almost everybody, and you keep bringing all these superheroes, it makes what he does less special. But I mean, these are just nitpicky things. Overall, I absolutely love the show. If you haven't seen it, I had to beg Dave to watch it. Dave was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch an episode here. The next thing I know, boom, boom, I'm halfway through the first season. This is amazing. So I would say check it out.
Alright, number 3. Do you think Willie Mack should have an article/interview with WWE.com? Of course, I think they should. Like David, Kenta, and Steen. I think WWE.com should interview all of you guys. Why not? I know David, Kenta, and Steen have a way bigger following than Willie Mack, but it's what? 20 minutes? You're getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
How long does that take? Maybe 20 minutes of work? Everyone should do that. WWE.com, the network. Stop acting like you're a fucking big time and being lazy. WWE, if you're a network and you're .com, you should be trying to compete as far as you can. That's the fucking story. Yeah, I think for a fact Willie Mack should get an interview/article from WWE.com. Really? I don't know. I think the reason they went with Devin, Kenta, and Steen is because they have a way bigger following. So there you go. I'll just skip it. You guys want to add anything to that?
No, keep going. I agree.
I just think that they should do those interviews, and then they should even do an interview video where they include highlights of some of the best shit those guys did on the indie scene to just tap into their fan base already, but more generate hype for them when they're starting on NXT.
Yeah, and I'm sure WWE can afford paying, Pro Wrestling Will and Ring of a couple bucks for footage.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the best mixed martial art artist I should watch of all time, or just right now? Right now, watch Ronda Rousey. She's just got so much sexy judo, so aggressive. All time, it just depends what you like. Strikes, all that. If you like big man brawling, if you want heavyweight fights that no one's seen, you got UFC, Big Country, first. Mark Hunt will be amazing. Anderson Silva in his prime, Pro Cop in his prime, or there's so many. BJ Penn. If you like striking, you definitely have to check out Nick Diaz. But if you want to, like, hey, I need to follow someone, right now I think the hottest person in real life, the hottest as far as, like, oh, you got to watch her, and the hottest as you got to watch her, in both terms of the word, is Ronda Rousey. Her judo is amazing. I cannot believe her judo. So it depends what you're looking for. But there's a lot of great mixed martial arts out there. And the good thing about UFC is, if you're like, I want to get into mixed martial arts, pick one event and go watch the 1 hour pre-show. You'll be hooked for life because they actually know how to test. Have you seen Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I have not. If you liked it, what do you expect the season to do? Rob, have you seen Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, I like the show a lot. I think the next season's going to be good. I don't know how I feel about the spin-off show that they're doing, but it looks promising, and they've done a decent job tying in the storyline of the movies. Plus, it's Joss Whedon, who Joss Whedon doesn't lead us wrong.
Well, you got anything to add to that?
I've never seen the show.
Number 6, with Ustream stopping internet pay-per-views, how do you think non-Japanese New Japan fans will see the events? Pirating, but besides that, their big 1-4 show is going to be at pay-per-view, and they're going to get an English commentary team, big stars. That's what New Japan says. So you guys will be able to watch it on real pay-per-view. But if I was them, I would just give this shit away for free. I would just fucking get it out there. You have the best product in the world, and you're making a lot of money in Japan, and you're like, oh, we want to go overseas. Well, what? They're not willing to pay $90 for us? How dare they? And it's just like, they don't want. They get $9.99. Why are they going to pay $9 for you? And I would just get it out there. I wish they are doing it slowly but surely, but I guess my dream job in wrestling would be I'd love to be able to handle how New Japan expands to other markets. That's what I kind of do in real life for other companies. But New Japan, they're just like anyone else. They're rich. They're fucking. They have their fan base, all that. But I wish New Japan had to get a little product. They had to get the product out there. It's just they have to do a better job. Are they improving? They are improving. But there are fans that want it so bad, such as Boom Boom, but you can't have access to it unless you pirate it. And no, going to Ustream is not a fucking answer. That was fucking horrible. I know New Japan's the best wrestling in the world. And as a friend of Boom Boom and Rob, I can't say, oh, dude, pay fucking $90, $120 for the G1 when you get everything from WWE for $9.99. You can't say that as a friend that even loves New Japan. They just have to handle it better. They are number one in Japan. They're not number one worldwide, and they could become number one worldwide. They are improving, just not at the pace that Super New Japan Wrestling fans. But yeah, right now, pirating and then the 1-4 show you'll be able to watch on pay-per-view is probably your only option, and that's wrong. It's Kevin Rose, the creator of Dig, said this. Make it where it's easy to get and at a price, you'll kill pirating. Like if it's only $1 to rent a movie on Netflix, well, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, download it. It's gotta be a price and convenient and all that, but they're just stuck. They're stuck in their own ways, and that's the Japan business and business in general. Will you do more positive YouTuber parodies? If Raw sucks, we'll do a positive YouTube parody. But then, what would Rob's job be? Besides Brock Lesnar fucking over New Japan, why do you think management won't let the champs have outside title defenses? Just Brock Lesnar had a huge part to do with it. Also, in Japan, they have a big thing of trust, and the title means something, and they don't want to risk a champion getting hurt. They don't want to risk the champion losing the title and have to bring it in. It's just that Brock Lesnar risk. Why Why? Brock Lesnar won the title and said, fuck it. I'm not fucking coming back for the title. And then they're like, ah, fuck. You know, so I guess they had enough money and trust AJ Styles enough to give him the title. But as far as defending the title outside of Japan, I think they will if it's a New Japan show. But I don't know if they will do it. It's a trust factor. They don't trust anyone. And the titles mean so much more in Japan than they do in America. Like, let's put it this way. Here's a hint for TNA. If Samoa Joe said, titles don't matter, let's fight. This is what they said in the last Impact. It was the bad part of Impact. Samoa Joe goes, oh, the titles don't matter. Let's just fight to see who's the toughest. You would get booed out of the arena. They would not be fans. You can't fucking do that. Tyson, not Tyson did. Who's Christian's bodyguard? Who's Christian's bodyguard?
Tyson Tomko?
Tyson Tomko, he won the tag team titles. He had 4 tag team titles and went to do an interview. And he dropped one of the titles. And that's it. He dropped one of the titles to grab the mic. And Japan went fucking crazy. How can you disrespect the titles? And he's like, yo, and because I interviewed Tomko. And Tomko's like, yo, bro, I did it by accident. I just wanted to grab the mic. And that's not the way they saw it. They saw it as, how dare you drop the IWGP tag team titles. Fucking, you know what I mean? So it's different. Titles mean something. And then you go to America and you're like, on Impact, and WWE, they have nothing but non-title matches. Titles don't mean anything. And on top of that, in TNA, the last Impact, you had a guy go, these titles mean nothing. Let's see. Dude, no, you can't even drop the title without it being controversial and you having heat. Tyson Tomko had heat because he literally had 4 titles. They interviewed him. He dropped one of the titles to grab the mic. It's just, they take their titles pretty fucking seriously. And they should. They should. And the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, title should mean something. Why do you think MVP, Kenny King, and Lashley are less sweated than Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods? I'll answer this first, and if you guys want to answer it, you can. I think TNA doesn't have a reputation for being racist. Bottom line, MVP, Kenny King, and Lashley, they're a team. They started off with the American Wolves. They're buddies. They fucked over the American Wolves. They do not have the reputation that WWE has. If MVP, Kenny King, and Lashley were a group in WWE, all us scared white people are like, I'm scared! Of course, because WWE has a reputation. I think that's the difference. I think TNA, when it comes to, are they racist? No. No. So when Kofi Kingston, I'm sorry, not Kofi Kingston, when Kenny King, Lashley, and MVP are a team, we don't worry about it. We're like, oh, they're a team. And not only that, but they had the American Wolves be a part of it. And then they screwed over the American Wolves, and they told a story where I believe Big E, Langston, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods showed up and were like, oh, it's WWE. Are you fucking for real? And I think that's one thing. I know a lot of people make fun of TNA, but that's one thing TNA does a million times better. TNA has had black champions, and it's not even in consideration. Like, if Big E Langston won a WWE title, it would be a huge accomplishment because WWE is a bunch of great people. But, no. Lashley winning the title, that's every day in TNA. So that's one thing TNA has advantage, and I think that's why, in my humble opinion, Zachary Watts, why in TNA we just look the other way. And not only that, but a lot of people don't watch TNA. That's a factor too. But I think it's a big, TNA doesn't have the reputation of being more racist. You guys want to add that stuff or just next?
Next, for me.
Alright. If you follow non-TV or movie comic book stuff, your reactions on Marvel killing off Wolverine. This is just me personally. I think they are killing characters not to tell a story, but to sell comic books. I think I get mad that, you know, like Spider-Man being black doesn't bother me because it's another universe. It's that. But then you're like, Thor's a woman and Hulk's gay, and it's just like, dude, you're doing this to sell comic books. And the reason it bothers me is because as a small guy who writes stories, yeah, you are taking cool original ideas, topical stuff, and throwing your marketing characters behind it because you don't have the balls to start off with a black lesbian in a wheelchair superhero. You just like, oh, let me do this. I think killing people off nowadays does it. Like Ninja Turtles, the first Ninja Turtles ever, Shredder's killed because they didn't plan on ever making other Ninja Turtles. I just think it's a cheap way of selling comics. Do you think Wolverine's really going to be dead? Do you think they're really going to stop making? I mean, come on, it's Peter Pan and Peter Pan. Peter Pan, I don't think he ever died. Peter Parker died, and oh no, fucking that's in that universe. It's this universe. I just think it's a very cheap way of selling comics, and it actually kills the artist. You might agree or disagree, but Rob, you're into comics. Your thoughts? Killing off.
Wolverine's died like I don't even remember how many times, but Wolverine. It's not his first time they've killed Wolverine, and it won't be their last. Just like they've killed Magneto, they've killed so many characters and then retcon them back. Like it just in the comic world, it doesn't matter. Like he could die, it's trivial. They just do that for attention. On the aspect though of changing existing characters into completely different things, that is the most infuriating thing that happens in comics right now. And like, I'm not racist. I don't care if you suck dick and you're a dude. I don't give a shit. Whatever you do is you. But stop changing existing characters. Like Dave said, grow a fucking snack. You've got tons of creative people. Make new fucking characters. Make new IPs to fill those, as you see them, gaps in your coverage. Don't just take something that, like, and this isn't me, but let's say that I'm a racist KKK guy who grew up loving Captain America. Just a good old white boy who's just all about America, and I'm racist as fuck, and I'm upset. And then one day they're like, you know what, we're going to make Captain America black. That dude is gone as a fan. Now, he wouldn't have been a fan if the character started off black, but you're taking characters that people love for specific reasons, and whatever their personal reasons are, and they've grown attached to that character, and then you're just going, you know what? Fuck you. I'm changing this. He's out.
It's a very cowardly way to go. And not only that, but as a guy, me and Rob, we write stuff. It's hard because you're like, wow, my next book, there's a transsexual. But the thing is, you could be like, well, all right, I've never read a book about a transsexual. But then you go and be like, well, now She-Hulk's a transsexual. And you're just like, well, you're killing original ideas by just... It's bad on both ends. It shows me that you're weak and can't come up with your own ideas. There's no originality whatsoever, and you ruin the ideas you do have by just jumping the shark, and you don't have the balls to create something new. Just like Transformers the movie should be called Michael Bay's Robot Wars. Female Thor should... What? And I don't know this story. Maybe it's a great story. But as a guy who hasn't read the story yet, it's just like, oh, you're just selling comics. Why not? There's a whole planet of gods. Why not just have a female god come up and be like, hey, Thor, I'm here to whoop some ass. I'm going to whoop ass on my own. Single women, raise your hands. Woohoo! I don't fucking understand. It's just so cowardly. It's cowardly, it's bullshit, and it's also knocking tons of creative people down. Because think about it. Oh, it's just bullshit. And not only that, but I love Marvel, but it's historically bullshit Marvel. Even though I'm a Marvel fanboy, it's just bullshit. Like, if you go look and you're like, I love Marvel, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, everything Marvel ever has, they stole. And you're just like, oh, wow, I guess you're right. And it's just another generation of stealing. Every guy out there that made a female character now has to suffer because, well, they just, Thor's a girl. It's bullshit. It's just a way to sell comic books and save their own ass, and it's cheap. It's very cheap. Boom, do you want to add anything?
Let me just say this. I think it's racist in itself to take a character and make them gay, black, Hispanic, change them around to a woman, or make them transgendered just for the sake of doing it. I think it's racist because you're saying that you can't come up with an original character that can get over, that people will buy. Instead, it's never really going to buy, so we're going to take Captain America and make him black, because nobody would ever really want to buy a comic book that features a black superhero, so we'll just take Captain America and make him black. And then Spider-Man, no one would really buy a comic book with a half black, half Hispanic, teenager who might be gay, No. We're gonna kill off Peter Parker. We're gonna make the new Spider-Man. I think that's racist. If you think that a character like that couldn't you can't sell a character like that, so you have to take a popular character and change it
Mhm.
to make that work. I think that in itself is racist.
Yeah.
And then
You got something to add, Booms or Rob?
yeah, just on what Booms was saying, like they're making Captain America black, and like I get it, they're doing it to fill up gaps with their lack of black characters. But the thing is, they have tons of black characters that they just don't push in their own individual runs and everything. To steal a WWE term or a wrestling term, like give Black Panther a push, give fucking Luke Cage a push. Like you have tons of great characters that could fit so many other roles that their backgrounds haven't even been fleshed out fully in some of them, where you could make them fit those niches because they don't have a background really heavily established yet. So don't change, like, I could go forever. This is bullshit.
And let's focus on the killing thing. If your character in a book, comic universe, your storytelling universe that you're in control of, if your character dies and you bring him back, that's the ultimate sellout in storytelling. There's not anything worse than selling out. And I love the Ninja Turtles, but they've sold out.
Death should be final. Death should be final. The second you bring a character back and some kind of odd twist, you break that wall, and then you know what? Nobody's going to fear if any of your characters die. Because if they die, then maybe they'll come back in another 6 months. They're not really scared. It's not this, oh my God, and to steal one from a question we answered a little while ago with Arrow, we know that death on that show was final. Once you're dead, you don't come back. So when a major character in season 2 died, it was holy shit. The writers have got balls here. I mean, they've killed this character off. They're not coming back. In fact, they killed off a major character towards the end of season 1, and it's like, oh, this was a major player. He's dead, and it's just like, and they stay dead. And so when when you know that the writers do have the balls to kill off main characters, and two, you do know that death is final. There is no bringing them back. There is no resurrection. There is no Lazarus pit. There's no pulling them from like another dimension. They're dead. And then you get more invested in the characters, more invested in the story, because you fear for them. You're concerned for them. It's like, if they die in this fight, they're not coming back. So I'm really pulling for them to win this fight. That I think is a major part of storytelling that comic books have killed.
I will say the one exception where I'm okay with them dying and coming back is actually characters like Deadpool and Wolverine, which have ridiculously extreme regeneration documented repeatedly in the comics, where if part of them survives, it's very plausible with how amazing their regeneration is that they might fully regenerate given enough time. And I'm okay with ones like that, but because then it makes it more like it's a curse that they're still living. But yeah, if you have, like, let's say Magneto's head get fucking torn or cut off, and then you bring him back, it's like, are you shitting me? You just completely destroyed any future deaths you have because you're taking the weight of that death away.
Yeah, and all that, but if you have integrity as a writer, a storyteller, when you go to kill off one of your characters, people that are co-writers, editors, comic book artists, they'll try to talk you out of it. Like, no, you can't kill that character, because they know you have integrity. Coming back from a death is fucking unbelievable. All right, 2 more questions by Zachary Watts, and then we'll go to live comments. Man, we got a lot of questions. Do you kids watch Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, and other shows from Japan? Yeah, my son's favorite show is this guy. I don't know if he's really popular in the States, but this is my son's favorite character. I'm trying to show him. He watches Masked Rider a little bit. He loves those Ghost Cats, and he also loves Trimon, and he loved Power Rangers, but then he outgrew Power Rangers to Pokemon, and now he's kind of outgrown Pokemon to that, but he loves Trimon. All right, and will you guys do a live show with Wrestling Ranting? Sure. I like wrestling.
I'm open to it.
I don't know. Wrestling Ranting only does 20-minute shows. We do 800-hour shows, so Wrestler Ranton has to get in shape. Anyway, I don't care as long as they're cool and they've had experience. Like my whole thing is, a lot of people are like, oh, they want to be like, hey, I want to be part of the show, and I'll be like, okay, I don't know you. Have you ever done a show? They're like, no, but your first show will be with you. Like, no, that's going to be awkward as fuck. Do your own show. There you go. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Live questions. Boom. Talk about porn. Is Boom Boom going to watch TNA? Yes. I don't think Rollins will try to cash in. That's a lose-lose situation. Death would rather jump off a 50-story building than get in the ring with Brock Lesnar. That's from Kevin Smith. I hope it's real friends. Now that WWE has established a training facility at NXT or to WWE, do you think it's unfair for WWE to have any talent skip the process and go straight to the main roster, established wrestlers, for example, Christopher Daniels? I don't think it'll ever happen because Sin Cara skipped the process and it was a complete failure. The only problem I have with the training facility is you're going to teach only one style of wrestling, and you own a network, and you're a monopoly, and if you're only going to teach one style of wrestling, it's going to be very fucking boring in the future, especially when these get smaller and smaller. If Raw has Jerry Springer, I'm done like Daniel Bryan's career. I'm sorry, dude. And Samoa Joe said, title aside, it's not about that right now. Yeah, still, that would get a lot of heat. I would just get a lot of heat. It's always about the public titles here. You know, and even if it's a non-title, you have to advertise that like 6 months in advance. Like, yeah, you can't just be like, it's non-title tonight. People are like, how fucking dare you? I think we lost Booms. Are you still there, Rob?
Yeah, I'm here. Boom said in the chat that he was tapping out, that he's going to bed.
I wish we had a good send-off for him. Now I feel like a jerk.
Now I know how I'm going to leave.
You're just going to be like, boop, gone. You still want to go? Because we got, like, a shitload of questions.
Sure.
If you want to tap out, you can tap out. But before we tap out, we definitely have to go with it. Yeah, we have to go with Tiger Mask story. That's Franielli's main event. And we're going to make Franielli work for it. Franielli's going to be the only guy who hears the Tiger Mask story. All right. Here's a question. How would you make Brock Lesnar and Cena at Night of Champs interesting? I think we already talked about that. That's from Scullin. Bam, bam. They should bring back Awesome Kong and have her feud with Jessica Havoc. I believe so. And that's from Null17ABL. I think anyone that brings back Awesome Kong or Amazing Kong or Karma will be the best in women's division. We walk from Sports, Dave. I did see smooth waxed legs. I'm just not that hairy of a beast, but I always complain. It's my head. But they're kind of hairy, right? I guess. Maybe not picking up on camera. But there you go. Ewok, there you go. Lennox Watterson, off topic. Hindsight being 2020. Should Reigns have joined Authority instead of Rollins? I asked because Rollins and Ambrose seem to be more over at Reigns at this point. You are our Shield expert. Rob, what do you think?
I think Ambrose is, in terms of the complete package, Ambrose is probably the best person in the Shield, just in general. His mic skills are amazing. That said, I don't think it matters to them. I'm pretty sure Reigns is getting the push no matter what happens. They don't care.
We have a question from Google+, Mike Perth. Why are there wrestlers named The Rock, Hulk, etc.? Why isn't there a wrestler called Potato? That's a very good question, Mike Perth. I guess
that sounds like a name for Bo Dallas.
Yes, the Potato. So there you go. And you know what? That's from Google+. That's what we get for going to Google+. Thanks, Mike Perth. I doubt he's still watching, but if you are, thank you. All right, so good news, Garrett. Do you think Havoc will be big, or will she be another Lady Tapa? I think there's a lot of pressure, and they are trying to replace Awesome and Amazing Kong, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on her, and I hope she does good. Good news, Garrett. Dave, do you think Gail Kim is the best? I already answered this. Yes. Mr. Biggs, a.k.a. the bad guy. I'm a Buccaneers fan. Woohoo! I don't even think this is a question. I'm pretty sure I just put this in because I'm a Bucs fan, too. I'm a Bucs fan and hope Lovie Smith can turn the team around. Me too. I am very scared about this season's Bucs, but Lovie Smith can work some miracles. You know, like ESPN had this graphic. It's like this is our year. I even felt guilty sending out as a Buccaneers fan. But I was like, if you're gonna dream, dream big. Wrestling Ranted. You guys don't have an understudies? Question mark. Josh Matthews does my show at Bombsy. Wrestling Ranted, big time. I'm going really fast, so you just interrupt me when you're going, okay?
Okay.
All right. What do you think about Michael Sam on Raw next week, Brianna Jackson? It's not going to happen, but I think if it was planned out ahead of time, it would have been okay if he showed up. But the fact that it wasn't planned out ahead of time, it just seems kind of easy. And not only that,
It was a press grab.
Roster. Go ahead.
It was a press grab. That's all it was.
Yeah, and it's kind of sickening press grab, if you ask me. Market Garden. I've got a question. How do you think it makes Jericho feel watching Cena fist the Wyatts hard up the ass just 1 week after he's sent out on television to describe Wyatt as the most dangerous man he'd ever faced? Stories online say the original plan was to end Raw with the Hall of Famers and start it with the Wyatt family losing a tag match to Big Show and Henry before having Bray Wyatt appear to save the day, where he would beat down Big Show and finish him off with his sister Abigail. Yeah, it's just Jericho has to feel like a jerk off. There's no other way about it. I mean, I'm sure he won't say anything because he just wants to be a the next Paul Heyman guy.
John Cena.
You know what? It would add fucking character. It would be a challenge for Paul Heyman. It would be next Paul Heyman guy. I don't know.
No, I want to go back. I do think the best way to go past Kenta's language barrier is to have him come in as a Paul Heyman guy. That Heyman's like, I went around the world to find the real best in the world. And just take jabs at the Punk gimmick and everything. I wanted to find the real best in the world and keep emphasizing that. And then finally debut Kenta as his client.
Yeah, that's awesome. You just did a home run. Congratulations. You won the internet. All right. C.S. Fitzy says, do you find it extremely frustrating that Raw is a 3-hour show and for the first time in a while they have some very talented women wrestlers, yet they only get to wrestle 2-minute matches, but then on NXT shows an hour long, they still give the women an amount of time to wrestle the I find it extremely
I do want to say, though, in defense of NXT, that's the go-home show for TakeOver, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they did use, 4 match slots just for the main event, 4-way guys, just to get them over a little beforehand. So, I get why they did it. I don't think that was a women wrestling doesn't matter. I think that was more, let's just make sure the main event guys are...
WWE Raw is not showing more good women's wrestling. And I understand it. Malik Douglas says, I like Kill Bill. Don't do this to me, Dave. I hate Kill Bill. I know it's going to be one of those situations where people turn on me. I thought Quentin Tarantino, I probably mispronounced his name, was one of the greatest movie makers in the world until Kill Bill came along. I did not enjoy Kill Bill, and I know a lot of people are like, but you got to watch Kill Bill too. I'm like, I didn't watch Quentin Tarantino movie for a really long time until Bingo. I don't know, Be Silent. I don't know. I watched that one, and that's it. Yeah, I kind of abandoned it. I know, people are like, oh, but you got to watch part 2. Fuck you. No, I don't need to do anything. I did not enjoy Kill Bill. I thought Kill Bill was I thought it was pure garbage. If this was on YouTube and he was showing off his fight scenes, I'd be like, hell, dude, yeah, great job, kid, on YouTube. This is fucking one of the best guys in Hollywood. Just fucking. I know this is going to be one of those JR things where I don't like JR and everyone else does. A lot of people like Kill Bill. I hate it on Rotten Tomatoes. It gets a great score. My friends always bust my balls because how much I hate Kill Bill. And they'll be like, well, what movie do you like? I'm like, oh, I like Man on Fire. Well, it's better on Rotten Tomatoes. I think I'm alone on this, though. I take it you like Kill Bill?
Actually, no, I don't like Kill Bill. I think it's dumb.
That's how we found each other. Yeah, I hate Kill Bill 1. I never watched Kill Bill 2. So.
It's too over the top for me. I just can't get into it. Like, it's so cheesy.
Like, if I ever met him, I'd just cry on his shoulder. Like, how can they do like the rest of them?
Like, go group up with Robert Rodriguez. Make more From Dusk Till Dawn movies.
Yeah, that was cool. He was so good. Like, I think, you know, there's a saying, you only have so many books in you, you only have so many movies in you. I honestly think Kill Bill that's it. He had no more movies. Will Sting ever debut and wrestle? I believe so. I can't see him wrestle, but I can see him doing commentary or doing what Hogan's doing. I think he's going to do commentary what Hogan's doing. I think he'll have one last match at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I agree.
Wooderson. This is good. This is good for you. I think I've answered this one. But Lennox Wooderson says, who was the worst Golden Boy? And I do believe it's John Cena. We have to have our debate. People want to have a debate. It's usually Hogan. So we'll save that.
Hogan was definitely worse. You just don't think Hogan was worse because, I don't know, something wrong with it.
I despise Hogan too. Don't get me wrong. It's hard defending Hogan, but I still think Cena. I am Mike Ashman. He's doing live comments and previous comments. It's double team. Is Cena versus Brock Lesnar rematch too soon? I believe so because I don't give a shit. What about you? Do you think the Cena Lesnar rematch way too soon?
I think it was way too soon. I personally would have booked it as Cena would have been out for like a month, and I would have said that he was fucking injured from the match, like he got destroyed, and then I would have had him come back and been like, no, I'm not gonna break like that. I'm not gonna break that easy. And then I would have had like a 1 to 2 month build up of him working himself back up to being like, all right, I want my rematch now. With how they're doing it, if they're really assuming the rumors to build Brock up are true, I would love it if they just crush Cena again, like even worse, just demolish him worse, just to send a message.
I hope it's short if that's the case. I don't want if I could see Brock Lesnar doing the boom.
I hope he breaks the suplex record. I hope he's like, I'm going to do 47 power bombs tonight.
It reminds me, like, I don't know why, it reminds me when you were a little kid and you had an action figure of a wrestler you hated and an action figure of a wrestler you loved, and you did like a 90-minute match of just your wrestling figure beating the shit out of him. Like, I don't know, the Brock Lesnar-John Cena match just remind me of, like, little kids playing with their fucking favorite and hated toys. It's like,
in my head,
Hogan, and he got the fucking shit kicked out of him by King Kong Bundy for 90 minutes.
In my head, I like to believe that basically Triple H won a bet, and Vince was like, all right, you win. You get to book the entire Brock Cena, the entire John Cena Brock Lesnar match for the pay-per-view. You won, buddy. Go at it. But after that, I take back over. And that's why he's just like, just suplexes for 5 minutes. And then the next night, Vince is just like, you son of a bitch, I need a week to think about what I'm going to do. And then on Tuesday, he's like, you know what? John Cena wants a rematch. And Triple H is like, God damn it, no. And then he's like, you know what? John Cena needs to destroy the three-man family. They're all going down. And then Triple H is like, wait, no, stop. You're going too far. And he's like, you know what? He still doesn't look powerful enough. We need to make sure there's also a Legends panel on that show. And then what else can we do? Oh, I know. Let's have Cena destroy 3 new people. We're going to do this every week. Cena's not done. And then it's going to lead up to just Cena just suplexing Brock Lesnar fucking 17 times and being like, now who holds the record, Trips? Now who holds the record?
All right. I skipped a lot of these questions because we answered some of them, and I want to try to get to some live comments and wrap this thing up. Brenielli says, I would gladly pay $9.99 for an AJ porno. Am I a bad person? I don't know. You're not hacking your phones. You're vetting it. I think you're a good person. Yeah. Did Ambrose and Rollins remind us a bit of the Attitude Era? That's from Wrestling Right. I think they're trying to push the Attitude Era, but just not doing it. All right, well, when we get back, we can do live comments. Then when we get back, it's Fred Yelly's Dave Tiger. You guys, if you watch this long, you earned it. You know, I wish people could like put little highlights and stuff on cartoons.
I can't believe you're going to reveal this part of your past to them.
I am Mikey says, word around town, the blueprint for TNA's Bound for Glory match are not finalized. Talk is there will be 3 TNA versus TNA matches, 2 Wrestle 1 versus Wrestle 1 matches, and 4 matches that will feature talent from both promotions. There's no confirmation on whether Wrestle 1 versus Wrestle 1 matches will be taken. The Great Buddha and Tajiri versus Sonata and James Storm. The TNA side, they have discussed Low-Key versus Mo Jail from the X Division, Wolves versus Team 2D for titles, and full male males. Will they still be on Team 2D's league? Will they still be under contract then? I don't know. I know they're going to be in the Hall of Fame, so maybe this will be the last match. The tag match will depend on whether Bully Ray resigns with the company, but it's not expected. I will get into that. TNA wanted to put the Hardys in the match with the issue of Jeff Hardy possibly not being allowed in Japan due to its felony drug addiction. Thoughts? Go. I'm going to the show most likely if my doctor can clear me. It sounds like I'm going to be. You know, you're in bad health. You know, like Daniel Bryan is trying to get cleared to be in a wrestling match. I'm trying to get cleared just to sit in the front row for a couple of hours. If my doctor clears me, I plan on going to this event. I'm probably going to buy the tickets this week or next week, about September 11th. I'm going to go and watch it. That looks like a pretty decent card. The Wrestle 1 versus Wrestle 1 stuff, I'm going to get through. And, yeah, I don't know. So, I hope Bully Ray sticks around to at least Bound for Glory. It'd be a nice send-off. Just because, you know, have him stick around to when he goes in the Hall of Fame. Because they're going to be going. All right. Franielli says, I'll be staying up all night to hear that story. Also, Dave, I'm waiting for my Turkey Day champion shirt for Turkey Day. Yeah, all right. Well, Franielli, we're going to get to it soon. We're just getting to these last live comments, and then I'm going to tell the story. And I just want to pre-warn you, Franielli, you are going to be disappointed. Rockagok, Hulkamania versus Cena Nation. It's coming. I don't know about that. I hate both of them. I think Hulkamania is way better than Cena Nation. But we'll break it down. We'll have topics. But Kakarot, since you are the man and you're the guy that wants to hear the debate, think of like 7 or 6 topics we can debate. You know, be like, well, which one was better for kids? Which one sold more merchandise? Which one had better merchandise? Some questions like that. I don't think selling could be, because the economy's different and it's a different thing, but try to think of like maybe an odd number of questions and we'll debate. And then we'll let Kakarot be, I'll represent Hogan, you represent Cena, and we'll try to defend stuff we hate, which one is not the worst. And then
I will tell you right now something that I feel you need to know. Yeah. You're gonna lose.
I've lost before. It doesn't mean I just don't stop fighting. Elway 0798. Do you think WWE will do justice to the Savage DVD or WWE revisionist history? I think, my personal opinion, I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think they're going to do a great job, but they're going to rehash the history. Like, they're not going to mention the rumors about Stephanie McMahon. They're not going to mention how he hated them. They are going to do him justice in WWE style, but they will reinvent history, just like the Paul Heyman. See, all the DVDs. It's just you have to put WWE as a standard, and they're not going to do it. You know, and then of course 1 or 2 insults will slip through the crack, but it won't be anything big. So there you go. I mean, I just think it'll be a little bit of both. I know that's kind of a bullshit answer, and I'm sorry, I'll 798, but I think it will be a little bit of both. I think there'll be parts where you're like, man, that was amazing. And parts like, that's just pure bullshit.
I mean, I don't think they'll have in the part where Stephanie's just sitting there touching herself going, I remember him.
Do you think Bobby Lashley's TNA championship reign is dependent on upcoming Bellator fight. This is a great question. This is from I Am Mikey. If he loses, TNA will soon follow up with him dropping the title. I think so. I think so. I left that question for the Internet Infantry, and I don't know if many people are going to watch this far. Thank you, live viewers who are watching this far, but I think that's the $1 million question. I think if he loses at Bellator, he drops the title to Root right away. And if he doesn't lose, it's more intriguing. Well, can a wrestler beat an MMA guy that just won a fight? Can Bobby Lashley just be unstoppable and not lose at anything? But if he loses, you can. And if he loses at Bellator and comes back and beats Bobby Roode and all the TNA guys, it just makes pro wrestling and TNA look bad. So I think there's a lot of pressure, but I'm still, at the same time, I'm glad Spike, Viacom, and TNA and Bellator are doing something like this. This is very Japanese style and very cool. All right, so bam. All right, I think it's story time. Let me check.
Real quick, I do want to ask: were you aware that Kenta's already working house shows?
Yeah, and then there's tonight. I haven't done my NXT review, but I'll do my NXT review later tonight. I heard there's a commercial. Ric Flair say he's going to make the premiere at the next, I guess, big event. All right.
I do know that at the house show that actually happened, Kenta actually talked.
Really? I wonder how his English was. That's interesting.
No one said how his English was, but the gist of what happened was, he went out, he talked with Zayn and Neville out there with him, and then Breeze disrespected him, and Zayn and Neville said it, and them argued about who was going to win the belt, and then they told Breeze to respect the great Kenta, and Breeze left the ring, and then Sammy and Neville raised Kenta's hand in the air. And then while they were walking out, Kenta told him to have good luck at TakeOver, and he'll see them soon.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome that they did that. So way to go, WWE. I'm usually the negative guy, but that's pretty awesome. All right, that's good news. That's good news. Dave's Tiger Masks. All right, Rob. Before you ruin this story with jokes and with lies, let me just tell the truth. Okay? Well, me and this, I live in Tokyo, and Tokyo is a very expensive city. And I run a lot of companies, do a lot of projects, and have great health insurance. So that's how I get to in Tokyo. It's a very expensive city. And to live the good life, not that I'm living the best life, but for a white guy, I'm living a pretty good life. I like when I walk out of my house, you'll see old Japanese people just in shock, and sometimes new neighbors will call the cops on me and think I'm a burglar. That's how nice my place is, and they usually don't have white people there. So I'm living a pretty good life, but I have this friend who lives a way better life than me, and he's like Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
Right, your friend.
Save the jokes for the end.
Yeah.
He has nothing but the best suits, nothing but the best cars, lives in the most more expensive place in Tokyo than I live. I live in a very expensive place for West Tokyo, probably the most expensive building in West Tokyo, but he lives in expensive, like, the rich part of Tokyo, the Beverly Hills of Tokyo, and he has the best membership. He is living the life. And he's always talking about me, what I'm doing. Oh, how's security? How's translating? How's this? How's that? Because I run a couple companies, and we're always talking, and I'm always like, okay, it's your turn. What do you do for a living? And he's like, oh, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. I'm like, what do you do for a living? And for the longest time, he never told me. So I'm like, oh, maybe, because I live with some shady gentlemen and deal with some shady gentlemen, so it's not like if you had a shady job, I would judge you. So I'm like, well, what do you do? Never told me. So we become good friends, and we go out drinking with what I do for a living. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be interesting. And I'm thinking, let me see. When someone is richer than you, and I get this from some of my core friends, if someone is, when you're having a conversation, if someone is more wealthier than you, and they say, let me tell you what I do for a living, you feel like you're going to be brought into the secret society where we turn fucking paper into money and fucking you're going to be set. Like these people, every time you meet someone that's more wealthy than you, have this idea that they have a secret that you don't, you know? So I'm like, oh man, you're gonna tell me. And he breaks down what he does for a living. And I think it's a joke. Yeah, that's serious. And I thought it was a joke. Even like 2 weeks later when I saw him, I was like, dude, you can't tell anyone. And I was like, holy shit, you're fucking for real? That's what you do for a living. This is what this guy does for a living. Nice cars, nice suits, parties.
I like how you've kept up with the "you can't tell anyone" thing.
Yeah, because dude, he like days later told me he couldn't tell anyone. So I thought it was a joke.
And then you're gonna say it on a podcast.
Well, I'm not giving out his name. It's like, you think Branielli or anyone that listens to this late are going to know who he is? So I'm like, all right, well, what do you do for a living? He's like, well, I do make money on the internet. Okay, cool. I make some pennies here and there on the internet. Well, what do you do? Well, I do something along the lines of porn. And I'm like, well, I've made money doing porn, not in porn, but, you know, website porn and all that. I've made money off porn before. This ugly ass has never been in porn. They're open with me, but I'm like, okay, well, you do porn. He's like, yeah, but I kind of started. I was like, no way, you started porn? Oh, fucking, who are you? And he's like, well, it's kind of embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I have a lot of gay friends. Because when you hear a guy say it's embarrassing, you just assume he means gay. And I was like, oh, it's okay. I have a lot of gay friends. It doesn't bother me. He said, no, what I do is worse than being gay. And I'm like, oh, God, please don't tell me about animals and children. He's like, no, it's just by myself. And I was like, all right, what do you do? And he's like, well, people pay me large amounts of money to masturbate to items. So someone will send him, like, this PSP. They'll be like, this is my little brother's PSP, jerk off on it. Or this is my ex-wife's underwear, jerk off on it. Whatever you want him to jerk off to, he will. And I'm like, well, how do people know who you are? There's a long pause. It's like, I wear a tiger mask. So he wears a tiger mask, goes online, masturbates to products you sent him while talking dirty, and he just gets tons of fucking money. This guy will never have to work again. And I was just like, that is fucking amazing. And I find it disturbing. But when I told Rob the story, he's convinced it's me. He's like, you don't have a friend. You wear a tiger mask and masturbate. I'm like, no.
I'm just saying it explains a lot of holes in the plot. It's like, I run a lot of businesses. You know, I do a lot of online stuff.
So yes, I am not the guy in the tiger mask, but that is the story. I don't know if it lives up to the hype.
You know what? If you're not the guy in the tiger mask, get the guy in the tiger mask to do a video where he removes the mask.
It was me all along! But it is not me. Rob is convinced I am the tiger mask.
It is. Yeah. It's Dave in a tiger mask.
It's not Dave in the tiger mask. And then he always bugs me, like, where the video is. I'm like, the story enough is it. We don't have to fucking... Really
well, I've never asked for the video, you lying sack of shit.
No, I really didn't. But I did. I kid you not. This is the embarrassing part. I'll tell you the embarrassing part. I never asked to see the video, but I was like, if I do something like that, will you tell your audience?
Oh, wow.
And then I came home, and I kid you not, I was so happy. I was like, dude, I'm going to masturbate in a pro wrestling mask? And he's going to get me. And he's like, all right, if you don't tell anyone, I'll tell my audience about you. And I was like thinking of a gift. I was like, should I just wear my old mask? Should I wear a lucha mask? And I come home, and I kid you not, I think I have the secret of life. I'm like, honey, come here. Do you know how? And I'm going to make up his name. Do you know Donkey Kong has tons of money? I know how he does it. My wife's like, oh, really? I like money. What does he do? And I tell her the whole plan. And she's like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm like, I know, right? And here's the best part. And I don't even get the part where I'm going to do it. She's like, you're not doing it. I'm like, no, but people will send me stuff. And I just turned off on it. My wife's like, no, you're not doing porn in a mask. Not. And I'm like, but it's not porn. I'm going to be whacking it anyway. I might as well make money at it. So I'm gonna have the embarrassing part of this story is I did ask him if he would fucking promote me, and then I did go home and tell my wife about it. And that just tells you what type of relationship I have with my wife. Like, dude, let's listen to this. This is a great idea. And my wife's like, no, I'm embarrassed of you just talking wrestling online. You're not gonna wear a fucking lucha mask and fucking masturbate and stuff.
He was going to wear a Rey Mysterio mask, and he was going to masturbate on John Cena merchandise.
This is how far I went. He has a tiger mask, right? This is fucked up, but this is how far I went. He has a tiger mask, and I was like, yeah, but you can't really market or sell the mask. I was thinking about making my own original mask. Because then I could sell it and market it.
Okay, well, it's not as gay as I thought it was going to go. I thought you were going to be like, I was going to do a lion mask. Then we would have been Tiger and Lion. We could have done team shows.
Oh, possibility, a little tag team. So that is the story that Rob is convinced is me, and it's not. But sadly, if it wasn't my wife, I would be friggin' Tiger Mask Jr. So yeah, people are weird online. That's what we learned. And
Dave left out other parts of this story though that he's told me over the years. You left out other parts you told me over the years.
What parts did I leave out? I'm trying to protect the innocent here.
Well, what about the time that you sent him a picture of yourself and asked him, just to demonstrate it?
No, none of that is true. The story is fucked up as it is. You don't have to add lies to the story to make it even interesting.
You're right. It is pretty fucked up that you secretly masturbate on shit for a living.
Well, I guess, man, if you can make a living. But, dude, because my whole thing is, I always picture guys that do porn, because the girls you're picturing live a good life. Unless, of course, you're dating a woman machine. But the girls you picture live a good life, most of them, The guys you think, like, no, there's no way they can have a good life. This motherfucker, he's living the good goddamn life in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Good for him. So
I imagine, though, that dude has had to masturbate on some fucked up shit.
Yeah, probably.
I'm pretty sure he charges based off what it is. And they're like, oh, it's a pair of panties. He's like, sure, whatever, $50. I'm like, oh, it's my dead grandmother's ashes in an urn. And he's like, that's going to be more.
I was thinking, though, like, I'm so glad this is late in the show, because I'm sure we'd lose 900 subscribers telling that story. Franielli, I hope you're not completely disappointed. Franielli's like, I'm unsubscribing, I'm going away. I don't
Franielli is Googling it. He's like, guy in a tiger mask masturbates on things. Gotta find Dave.
Alright, let's see. I am Mikey. Let's change the subject. Let's lighten the mood up. Do you think Bobby Lashley's TNA World Championship reign is dependent on upcoming belts? Oh, we already answered.
Yeah, you read that one, word for word.
Mr. The King says, I wish Low Key did not fuck up at WWE because he would have no choice to push him. He is awesome. Yeah, I agree. He probably would have had a great career.
What do you do with WWE?
He's just very difficult. Like, he thinks pro wrestling is fucking real, but to the point of, behind the curtains, you're like, bro, the show's over. You know what I mean? He's kind of difficult to work with. I like him. I'm a big fan of his, but everyone that's ever worked with him, who was friends with him, he's so fun. Like, yeah, he's just he calls it his art, and like has on-site tools and shit. I don't know. I've heard some crazy stories. Granted, some of them might be made up, but you hear enough of them, you're just like, oh, he's probably good. Plus, he plugged TNA during an NXT show, so that was never good. Good News Garrett, my arch enemy, Bad News Barrett, is nothing compared to Good News Garrett Bishop. Anyways, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Dean Ambrose is a great team. Jokes aside, great podcast. Got to go to bed. It's crazy here. All right, good night. Good News Garrett. Hopefully you watch it. Lashley, head and 2 will face Josh Burns, 8 and 7. Yeah, they're not going to do it. And I think that's it. And then Franielli says I'm on the same boat as Ron. LOL. So now that I told the Tiger Mask story and you accused me, now my main man Franielli thinks I'm the Tiger Mask.
You are the Tiger Mask, you piece of shit. It explains everything. How many times we masturbated on that Donkey Kong, you sick bastard?
The worst part is like if you like, now I'm like starting to add to the line. But if you do find it and you're like, it's not me, but yet it's the same posters in a room.
I like how you're just preparing for if we find the videos. You're like, listen, his room was set up very, very similarly to mine. It's a different person though. He is also an overweight white guy, and yes, he does have a Donkey Kong stuffed animal.
But for real, the guy under the tiger mask is a lot better looking and in shape than me. I don't know if that's helping my cause.
Why does he wear a mask then?
Because he fucking masturbates on shit for a living. He wants to have a normal life.
You mean one where his friend doesn't go tell everyone on the internet about it?
Yeah, but I did not mention his name, even though I did mention where he lives and probably described him enough that close friends would know who it is.
Yeah, good job, guy.
No problem. If I'm dead...
All because you don't want to admit that you masturbate on things.
I mean, I do masturbate on things, just not for a living.
See? That's step one. Now you just admit that it gets filmed and then you sell the videos for a living.
Well, friend Ellie, you wanted it, you got it. I hope you're proud. I hope you're proud of the Tiger Masks. So, if we had a big enough audience of Game Grumps, they probably would animate it. I hope one day we can get big enough fan base of animators that they animate just that clip. That would be
Dude, here's my question.
All
When
right.
are you going to put a T-shirt up on the site that does captures both of those inside jokes? It'll just be Turkey Mania. It'll be you and cartoon John Cena drawn in a ring, squaring off, about to go at it, and you'll be wearing a tiger mask.
All right, well, we'll see what we can do. We can't even get any fucking T-shirts. We have to get a T-shirt. I know you guys want to buy T-shirts, and I want to make T-shirts. It's just, I'm busy with my tiger mask duties. No, I suck at graphics, and I have to get the graphic guys to do it. So hopefully soon. We definitely need the Turkey Day one out by Thanksgiving. Don't you agree? So
I agree.
Yes.
I agree, John. We need to have one that's like half your face, half John Cena's face. Turkey Mania.
Graphics?
Huh?
Are you good at the graphics?
I don't know how much of it can be used legally the way I do it.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, man. All right, so this is definitely an awkward end. Last question, and here we go. Ready to wrap this up? This is...
Yeah.
I hate my life. This is from Not Jerry from Kocosports Marketing. All right, Not Jerry from Kocosports Marketing. Do you know a good place to help me market my gym, dojo, combat sports event? Jerry. I'm sorry, Not Jerry from Kocosports. That's a little too much. We do have a marketing and printing site, and if you want flyers or anything, SEO or anything website-wise, please check out Kocosports.com. Ask for Not Jerry from Kocosports Marketing. They're really busting their ass. They're really good at what they do. And if enough people buy the shirts and enough people go and buy stuff to help promote your own stuff from a printing and advertising section, then maybe one day I can reach out to the podcast. Now we're going to have a new
Not Jerry killed it. Not Jerry killed it.
Coco Sports Marketing. Go to Kocosports.com or Kocosports.net. It's where the world comes kick ass. You're home for combat sports, and above all, where it's okay to be a passionate fan.
Wait, Dave. Hypothetical question.
All right.
Seeing as you are the Tiger Mask, if you have already done one video where you masturbate on a John Cena action figure, do you count that personally in your head as Turkey Mania Match 1? Because I don't count that.
All right, well, I'm not Tiger Mask. There will be no Turkey Mania. And I think I've shared too much at the end of this podcast.
So wait a second. You're saying if John Cena said he would do a Turkey Mania wrestling match against you with all the proceeds to go to veterans, you wouldn't do it?
I love how you threw in that last part to make me look like a complete asshole.
So you wouldn't do it?
Homeless orphan veterans. Would you do it? Sure. I don't think John Cena would ever just beat me up for fucking charity. If John Cena's on board for beating me up for charity,
I don't know. I think you're underestimating how much John Cena loves charity. Especially if I could show him your videos and you'd be like, he can't wrestle.
I'll fight John Cena for charity, and you just hear dun 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 dun, and he comes running in. Like, I did not see that one coming at all.
And then he masturbates on you, and your wife says, "Is it like the videos?"
All right, we've definitely shared way too much. Stump the Idiot ever. Thank you for the live comments. Thank you for the guys that left comments, and anyone that's made it this far. Type in the number 45 Tiger Mask, just so we know. Like it'll be like some street cred. It'll just be like 45 Tiger Mask.
Wait, don't do 45 Tiger Masks. That's too obvious. You gotta do a reply that includes the word Tiger Mask and the words Dave is the in it.
Dave is the Turkey Day champion. Tiger Mask is a great wrestler, I guess, yeah. So anyway, just mention Tiger Mask. That's it. No 45. No Dave is. Just if you mention Tiger Mask in the comments, we'll know you've lasted this long, and we'll be grateful beyond belief. Because I don't think anyone's lasted this long, even though we do have a couple live viewers.
Friend Yoey did.
So, all right. Go to Kocosports.com or Kocosports.net. I will be doing an NXT review. It will not be as long as this, I assure you. Within 24 hours, SmackDown review, and we have so many shows. So please like, comment, subscribe. Did I say Kocosports.com enough? There. Are you happy, not Jerry from Kocosports Marketing? Rob, do you want to plug anything that fucking exists?
Yeah, actually I do. I'd like to plug my new website, notdaveandatigermask.com.
Well, there you go. Notdaveandthetigermask.com. Go there now. Oh, man. Well, you know, one day we're going to have a big enough audience that some guy who just buys website domain names will actually buy the domain name. Because, like, that's the thing. When you, like, are Phil DeFranco or Joe Rogan have such a giant audience, if you make up a domain name, someone goes out and buys it. I can't wait. I can't wait. Maybe one day. I don't know if we're doing it.
I'm going to be costing someone a lot of money on domain names.
Yes, you will be. All right, so a real website, Kocosports.com or Kocosports.net, go there. The comment section's there, and then busting our ass. Hopefully one day, Rob hates this part, but it is. Hopefully one day we'll be your #1 review show, and we'll be your #1 blog. So hopefully one day we earn your trust. Rob, thank you. Boom Boom, thank you. I'm sorry you didn't make it. We didn't give you a proper send-off. I'm a jerk face. Rob, I'll talk to you soon. Go to Kocosports.com. With that, I am...
Tiger